beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
The Leicester Riders will play the London Lions in the season finale.
This is not just another game.
Jackson drives hard, scores, and one!
This is when the lights are the brightest. Previous form is irrelevant. Can you get the job done today?
Oh, Dirk Williams with the throwdown. Are you not entertained?
We're one down and one to go here at the O2 season finale. Next up, the stars of the BBL go head-to-head. Rob Paternostro and his Riders continue their perennial quest for honours. The playoff crown would complete a season treble for Leicester. Standing in their way are London, many people's favourites at the start of the campaign, but they're still looking for their first title of the season, so it is all or nothing for the London Lions. It is a packed house here at the O2 as the players go through their paces. We're going to be tipping off in around 30 minutes' time. This is the biggest selling BBL event ever. And there are two men alongside me, no strangers to occasions like this. Drew Lasker, Kieran Achara, good to see you both. So Drew, first things first, as someone who has experience of an occasion like this, playing in front of 15,000 plus fans with a title on the line, explain to us mere mortals what that feels like.
Well, it's a mixture of excitement, nerves, and ambition because there's a lot on the line tonight. Obviously, you know you get to be the only team that's sitting on top. You know everybody at home is watching, and we got 16,000 people jam-packed in here, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, you and me both. Kieran, taking personal interest out of this for just a moment, maybe for the first time this season, is this the final that you wanted to see?
It has to be. You know, everyone wants to see the high-flying London Lions, all the talent in the world against the, our relentless Leicester Riders, who have shown all season that they are the best team. So the most talented roster versus the best team in the final in London. What else can you ask for?
And there is two teams with explosive firepower on both sides, up against, of course, the Lions up against the Riders, the number one defense in the BBL. But nevertheless, do you sense that this could be a good old-fashioned shootout?
Well, it absolutely has the potential. You're talking about the two most talented teams in the British Basketball League. But we'll see. I mean, over the last 10 years, there's only been 3 teams that scored over 90 points. And we saw it in the game before. The London Lions, the best offensive team in the women's game, they came out struggling because this atmosphere is different from any player in the British Basketball League, so it takes a little bit of an adjustment period.
If it does turn out to be a high-scoring affair, which team does that favour more?
I was going to say the team who scores the most points, but I'll leave it to that. I think that kind of game, if London Lions are scoring the ball, I think that game favours them. You know, I think that London Lions want it to be a game that's just high-scoring, kind of intense. Even though they both try to pride themselves on defence, I think that would favour the London Lions. Well,
the Riders have dominated this season, and they've dominated this competition over the last decade. They're in search of their 6th playoff crown, their 5th under Rob Paternostro's leadership, the first back in 2013. Drew, you won it with Newcastle last season, so you're in as good a position as any to explain the secret to success in this competition. What makes a prolific playoff side? Why have the Riders been able to endure so much success in this particular competition?
Well, I think it's one thing, and it comes down to coaching, because once you start to get into the playoffs, everyone has played each other 3 or 4 times, so it becomes about those little adjustments. It becomes about the scouting report. But then on the other side of it, you got to have the players that's locked in and that's tuned to what the coach is putting out there and going out there on the floor and delivering it.
It is bringing a brilliant season once again for the Riders. Superb throughout the championship campaign, winning 25 of their 27 games, sealing the title at the beginning of April with 4 games still left to play, which meant they went into the postseason as the #1 seeds. They saw off the 8th-seeded Patriots in the first round. They then met the Rocks in the last 4 because Glasgow had beaten the number 2 seeds Sheffield, which was very much the upset of the quarterfinals. London, on the other hand, had a trickier time of it. They had to get past the 6th seeds Cheshire, which then set up a 3rd versus 4th semi-final against Bristol. Taking a 2-point advantage into the second leg at home, the Lions ran out comfortable winners by 20 points on aggregate, thanks largely to an MVP performance from Isaiah Reese. He had 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. The Riders' own MVP, Geno Crandall, was also in superb form in their second leg at home to the Rocks. Building on a 21-point lead, Crandall led the way with 22 points, 8 assists, and 2 steals. So the Lions have momentum coming into this game, and that's a narrative everybody is hyping up. But the way that the Riders dismantled the Rocks, they're in pretty sharp form as well, aren't they?
Yeah, both teams are playing at their best, and the thing that I like about this matchup is we come into it with both teams being battle-tested. As you mentioned there before, Bristol really pushed Lions to the brink. And then, although the Riders are the number 1 seed, remember in Game 1, the Plymouth City Patriots took the lead there in the 3rd quarter temporarily. So both teams coming here playing at a high level.
For Leicester, as we've been saying all season long, strength in depth so key for them, and that is a fundamental characteristic of the Riders. They've got a bench, Kieran, featuring players that would start in many other BBL sides.
Yeah, and players are really effective off the bench as well. A lot of teams have talent, and when they're not starting, they deplete. You know, the Riders find a way, no matter who they're starting, who's on the court, who's ever coming into the game, they can be productive, and that's a real strength to have.
We talk about the defensive dominance of the Riders, but then the number 1 ranked offense as well in the BBL. Is that, for you, Drew, one of the biggest changes to this team year on year, that they're even stronger this year as a result of that?
Yeah, on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, Leicester Riders have always known to get after it on that side, but to be able to be the top scoring team as well, they have they can beat you at different ways. They can play different styles of basketball. They can grind it out with you, or they can have a shootout, and that's what makes them special.
Well, with great success comes awards, and the Riders landed both the Coach of the Year award and the Player of the Year award this season. Drew caught up with both Geno Crandall and Rob Paternostro a little bit earlier on.
This is probably as good a Leicester Riders team as it's ever been, primarily because, Coach Paternostro, he really understands what he wants.
The reigning MVP, the Cup final MVP.
Geno Crandall is taking over this basketball game.
Geno, congrats on the Player of the Year award. Give me your overall thoughts on your season.
Yeah, I think it was huge for us to be able to accomplish some of the things we set out. Personally, obviously, we had a lot that I feel like was left on the table with how last year ended, so really proud of it that we were able to, reach some of those goals so far.
And what's the mindset of the team going into this final on the biggest stage of them all?
Yeah, I think our mindset is just to leave it all on the table, leave everything out there on the floor. We've only got 40 minutes left, barring in overtime. So, I think we're just going to go out there and give it everything we got for those 40 minutes.
And will this Lions team today be the biggest test you face?
Yeah, absolutely. Super talented team. In a way, their back's against the wall, having not won a trophy yet this season. So I think they're going to be out there just as hungry as us to get this one. So definitely a huge, huge test for us.
Rob, congrats on the Coach of the Year award. What's it been like to coach these guys?
It's been amazing, coming to work every day with such a hard-working, committed group that has a good time, too. So it'll be a little sad today when it finishes because, you don't get a chance to see them again next week.
Would a victory today be the difference between a good season and a great season?
Nah, I don't get caught up in that. That's for you guys. You guys make up all that kind of stuff. We never, ever talk about anything. We're talking about one opponent. It's the London Lions today, and we're doing the same stuff we've done all year.
And we know how good the Lions can be. What's the task ahead today?
We got to take care of the ball, number one. I think they get out in the open floor. They have so many shooters. It's tough to defend. And then you got to get them off that three-point line. They're as good as anyone at spacing the floor and making you pay. So it's a real challenge for us today, but we're up for it.
Congratulations on the accolade. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Geno Crandall, who we saw there, back-to-back MVPs for him. So, Drew, in a league that is so deep with talent, what makes him the standout player?
He can do it all. I mean, we talked about it all year long. he has no flaws. The only thing, the chink in his armor, was the three-point shooting. He got in the gym this summer. He grinded. He brought that back. Now he has defenses at his disposal. How are you going to guard him? Well, you can't, because he's talented and he has talented teammates as well.
He's a player, as we've seen time and time again, that can change the trajectory of a game. Even when he's under the radar, you suddenly realize how he's quietly going about his business and influencing it. So how will the Lions look to attempt to keep him in check this afternoon?
Well, the one thing we're talking about, his chink in his armour and it was his shooting. I think last season the referees got into his head sometimes. He'd lose it. You saw it in glimpses this season, but he gets back on track really quick. I think from a London Lions perspective, they're going to have to try and get into his head a little bit. Be a little bit aggressive with him. If he's not getting a couple of the calls, shots are not dropping, things could change. But that's been a hard thing to do. That's another piece of he's been working on this season, is that kind of mental control. So it'll be a tough test.
Another player who was very much in the MVP conversation for much of the season. He's had a brilliant year. Patrick Whelan, the only unanimous selection in the BBL Team of the Year, incidentally. He took out the Lions in the Cup semi-final with a superb individual performance from downtown, shooting 86%. So, Drew, how key is it for the Lions to keep that side of his game in check today?
It's a must. I mean, this guy's played at a high level all year. He's arguably been the Riders' best player, and he is an ideal player in this new generation where it's all about the threes or getting to the basket or the free throw line. And guess what? Patrick Whelan is efficient at all those areas of the game.
Leicester, well, they're focused. They are ready. They're gunning for the treble. The Lions, well, they have a different motivation. Their first trophy of a season which promised so much. We'll key in on London next. Crowd here expectant for a heavyweight clash. The Riders, the champs, and the cup holders looking to end their season in style, but standing in their way, the London Lions. And So many people, Kieran, tip the Lions for greatness this season. So why has their season fallen short?
There's an array of reasons. They talk about injuries, they talk about the coaching changes. But for me, I think the biggest issue was Europe. I think they didn't handle that well, and it's a tough. I've been in that situation before to kind of get that mindset right. That some players were brought in specifically for Europe. That team dynamic was a problem from the start.
Is that as well because they're spread so thin? I mean, talk about the expectation levels with the Lions. They're expected to contend on all counts domestically, and then you factor in the European trips as well, and just the stretch that puts on the roster.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a strain for the London Lions, but I look at it differently. They didn't respect the league, and at the end of the day, all other 9 teams in this league have players that are professionals. So they're just not going to let you roll up and win. In London, they kind of disrespected the process this year, but that's in the past now. They've gotten it together, and they got a chance to rectify their season here today.
There's firepower aplenty on this Lions roster, and they are really starting to find their groove. Do you feel, Kieran, based on everything we've just been saying, they're coming into this final in top gear?
I think they're right where they need to be. For me, Dirk Williams is a big piece of that. So they've got players back, healthy. And I think when you start to feel that kind of winning ways, things are starting to settle. It goes 2 ways. You can keep focusing, how did we get here? Or you can get complacent as well. We're back. You know what I mean? So if they get that balance right, that's what's going to be the deciding factor today in this game.
Now, they're one of the few teams to beat the Riders this season, and they did that without Dirk Williams, one of their star players, who, as you can see, is back today and back to his best. Drew caught up with him a little bit earlier on, and the Lions head coach, Nick Laurie.
Nick, after a difficult season, you guys have a real chance of glory. Your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts are this. Obviously, you asked me a similar question last week. We started training camp some 10 months ago. Obviously, the focus at the time was Europe, but we kind of knew back then we wanted to end our season here at the O2 Arena. So we feel we're on track, and it's a one-and-done game, and we're excited to be here.
And this team has so much talent. Do you need to be at your best to overcome the Riders today?
I mean, Riders are a hell of a team. They lead the BBL in points per game. They're kind of mid-table in possessions, and they lead the league in points per game. It kind of shows you how well they execute their sets and how well coached they are. So, yeah, we definitely have to be connected as a unit on both ends of the floor to be successful today.
And with winning the title in the capital here at the O2, what would it mean for this team?
It'd mean everything. I think this is the one trophy that we haven't grasped as a club. I've been here 5 years. I've been fortunate to pick up the rest, but this is the one that eludes me and eludes this team.
Dirk, you seem to be back at full fitness. Are you relishing the chance to shine on the biggest stage?
Yeah, of course. Obviously I want to be able to just do what I really can and do what I normally do to help the team win. That's all it's really about, is just, providing what I can do to help the team win. That's all I'm about.
And the Riders have been impressive this season. How do you guys need to play it today?
I think we just need to come out with the right mindset, control what we can control, stay together through adversity, because I know we're going to have some. Leicester's a really good team, so we just got to stay together as a group.
And this team hasn't achieved what it's promised yet. What would winning the title today mean?
It means a lot for us, with all the ups and downs that we've had this season, the injuries and everything like that. I think the emotions and everything is very high, and I think we'll be locked in and very excited to get a win.
Thanks for your time, Dirk.
Thank you.
Dirk's battled injury this season. If he'd stayed fit for the whole campaign, do you think that would have changed things for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it changes it from a league perspective of who obviously won the title, but I think when you talk about individual accolades, I think he could have possibly been in there for Team of the Year and maybe even been the shot for MVP. He's been incredibly efficient this year. Just missed out on a 50-40-90 split by shooting 80% from the line. Shame on you, Dirk Williams, but just an incredibly efficient player.
Isaiah Reese, the only Lion in the BBL Team of the Year. He was the Lions' leading scorer at 19 points per game. It's been a long season, Kieran, but is he saving his best ball for last?
That's what I hope so. From an entertainment perspective, I'm hoping that he put in a great performance that second leg in the semi-finals. But he is an unbelievable talent. Like he can get it done. It's that consistency. I always say he sometimes makes a few mistakes, turns the ball over a little bit at crucial times. But in that second leg again, he protected the ball, and that made a big difference for the London Lions.
Julian Washburn, Zach Jackson for the Riders was described by Drew last week as most underrated player on their side. Do you think the same is true with Washburn on the Lions? Is he the most underrated Lion?
Yeah, absolutely. He don't get the headlines, but he is by far the best defender on the London Lions and one of the best defenders in the league. And since he's returned from the abyss, the last couple games to finish the regular season, he's been the best player on the London Lions. He's done all those little things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but are winning plays.
Kyler Kelly, another key player for them defensively. He's averaging 3.2 blocks a game, which is double everybody else in the BBL. Sensational work there. And as we saw against Bristol in the semis, Kieran, an offensive threat as well.
Yeah, starting to get, like I said, when he plays with Isaiah Reese especially, they have such a great relationship. He moves well off the ball and he can catch in at the rim. He's got quick bounce, really long. So he has been scoring, but at the same time, it's at the defensive end is where he makes his main mark. And that's, even from a Leicester Riders, it can be very, very difficult when you know Kyler Kelly's around the basket.
All right, looks like we are almost ready for showtime here at the O2. The champions against the All-Star Lions. Players are about to be introduced to this capacity crowd here at the O2. So let's head back to our commentary team of Ant Rowe and Dan Routledge.
Thank you very much, Nat. Yes, it's always the climax to the season, the playoff final, and this one really is the one that probably, if we'd all picked in September, we would have said this is the one we want to see. We got there somehow, and now it is an opportunity for these two teams to deliver on the big stage.
The sat-nav has brought these two teams here on very different routes, Dan, but they're both here. And you're right, this is the what we wanted to see at the end of the season, the centre stage. What's happened in between, the narrative has changed somewhat, but man, this is a fantastic opportunity now for us to see these two giants go after it.
Well, the Leicester Riders have been here a lot in recent years. Rob Paternostro has been here a lot in recent years. More often than not, he's won. He's a man with tremendous experience in this big game.
And I think that's what the tipping point for the advantage to me goes to the Leicester Riders, because they have him. They have Coach Paternostro. You can throw talent out the window. Talent sometimes doesn't show up on these big stages, but I think he's someone who's been here and done it. He's had that heartbreak as well, but he's more importantly, he's been able to come back time and time again and win this on multiple occasions.
And that is experience that the Lions don't have. Obviously, they started the season with Vince. They've gone through a few different coaching lineups as the year has gone on, and in some ways, does that empower the players a bit more, or how do you think? How would you react to all of that?
I mean, that's something that's going to be hindsight. I think we'll look back after, in 40 minutes' time, and I'll be able to give you a very good answer. But the inconsistencies of this London Lions team would make them the underdogs for me. They haven't been consistent enough. The changes they've had from top down have been a disruption to the team. I can't remember one change really having a major positive impact. However, the last one was the bringing back of Julian Washburn, who has been able to contribute to this team dramatically.
Well, Washburn is an interesting one because he's a guy who does a lot of things, doesn't really need the ball, can knock down the three, but an excellent on-ball defender. Do you think we will see him guarding Geno Crandall, the MVP of the league?
I think we have to. I think that has to be a strategy that surely Coach Lowry will look to put into this game, for the simple fact is Geno Crandall, not very many people have been able to stop him and mitigate his ability to just change games and turn them on their head. So I think, yes, I think we'll see Julian Washburn on him from tip.
And Justin Robinson, still very much the spiritual leader of that team. Obviously, injury has curtailed his season. He can't play a part on the court, but in that huddle, on that bench, he will be doing everything he can to cajole his Lions to victory.
For sure, Dan. And like Rob Paternostro, Justin Robinson's been at these high-level stages before in this league. Former MVP, two-time MVP himself. He will be sorely missed, but whatever he can do, if he can sort of transfer some of that knowledge and encouragement verbally and via his energy, I'm sure he will.
And with this Leicester Riders team, they have so many guys, so many different weapons, so many different lineups they can throw at you. Rob Paternostro will work out which one is working for today, for this game, for this moment, and he will ride those guys irrespective of the name on the back of the jersey.
And I think that's why they're so difficult to stop. The obvious plan would be to try and mitigate or limit the MVP of the league, right, Geno Crandall. But we've seen games where he's not even featured, and this Leicester Riders team haven't missed a beat. Connor Washington's came in, Kimball Mackenzie's came in, and they just carried the load. And I think the team can hurt you in so many different ways. And Patrick Whelan, for instance, when one player doesn't show up, it doesn't have a major impact on the overall team.
Well, it has been a sensational season for Rob Paternoster and his Leicester Riders, a record-breaking season. Nobody has ever won the league by as big a margin as his team have done this year. But he is a competitor, and the final game is the one that lives with you through the summer, and he will want to go into that summer on the back of a victory, no doubt about it. Well, it's a capacity crowd here at the O2 Arena, and the two teams have been introduced, and we will now pause and rise for the national anthem. It is a game like no other, in a venue like no other in British basketball, and it is two teams who are hoping to end the year in the perfect way. The MVP, Geno Crandall, well, he said there was some unfinished business. He certainly took that defeat in the semi-final last year as motivation to get back here this year, and as we look at the numbers, the Leicester Riders, number one again in so many categories. They shoot the ball really well, they score really well, they defend really well. They are a machine.
They are indeed, and that machine has been able to do it in such a dominant way. Winning margin of almost 20 points per game. That doesn't say to me just consistency, it says to me that you are head and shoulders above the rest. But on one given day, this London Lions could have that last win of the season.
And the guy on the top line on the right there, Isaiah Reese, has all the talent you could want as a basketball player, can do so many things for his team. A big game from him, and the London Lions could be celebrating at the end.
This is a huge test for him. I think all eyes are on it now. He has superstar potential. Can he deliver now in this game? He's going to have a massive game. Remember, in the trophy final, he didn't feature, so he doesn't know what it's like to lose in a final.
Well, there are 40 minutes left in this British Basketball League season. There is one trophy left to win. Will it be the Leicester Riders or the London Lions? We will have tip-off when we return. Welcome back to the O2 Arena in London, where we have the final game of the British Basketball League season. The Leicester Riders, the double champions, trying to make it a treble. The London Lions trying to get their hands on the playoff title for the first time. Here is the most consistent starting five in British basketball.
They're that consistent. They've got three members of the team of the year. Geno, Crandall, Whelan and Nelson Henry inside the 6'11" centre. But let's look at the MVP, Geno Crandall, see him for his superstar performance today.
Well, the London Lions have rotated fives all year long. Chris Tawia in the starting lineup at the start here, but this is about the shooters, Williams and Kajini, alongside Reese, surely.
The opposite to being consistent is the London Lions. However, talent is what they do not lack. As you pointed out, Dan, Geno, Williams on the wings, incredible threat.
Well, the teams are out, the officials are ready, and we can get the 2022 BBL playoff final underway. And it is Tawia who wins the tip, and Reese who casually brings it over midcourt. Williams out to Reese. Dirk Williams, top of the key for three, perfect start.
Incredible start for the London Lions, but also for Dirk Williams, the guys we know can go off for 30 in a hurry.
Oh, Nelson Henry stood on the line on the inbound, I think. So that's going to be London's ball.
Wow, that's an unforced error you don't often see, especially from Nelson Henry, a very intelligent player.
No, it's a call you don't often see, but it gets London the ball back. And Dirk Williams trying to shake loose Loving. Late in the shot clock now, Reese round the screen. Pulls up at the elbow, misses everything, and Jackson with the rebound.
The Riders weren't punished for that early mistake. Get an opportunity now to put some points on the board themselves.
Whelan going the long way round. Nelson Henry with the offensive rebound and the hook for two.
So difficult to stop. Really good initial aggressive move from Patrick William, but his center, Nelson Henry, was there on call. Good offensive rebound and soft touch put back.
Dirk Williams attacking the basket, getting all the way, rims out though.
Well, he's looked aggressive early, isn't he? He's got intentions, and that intention is to leave his mark on this basketball game.
Well, Loving tried to throw that down to Nelson Henry, but it was stolen away. Here's Reese getting to the basket, high off the glass. And Leicester looking out in transition with Whelan going hard, taking the foul. And he will go to the line for two. Drew Lasker has joined us down in commentary here, Drew. Big occasion, big crowd. These are the games as a player that you want to be in. What have you made of the opening couple of minutes?
I mean, where else would you want to be? And we know what the Leicester Riders bring to the table, but for me, the London Lions early are showing great signs if you're a fan. Offensively, that first set, I saw a lot of movement. Then the very next defensive play, I saw aggressiveness, I saw eagerness, and if they can bring that to the table for 40 minutes, then we'll have a great game on our hands.
Well, the Leicester Riders fans packed behind Rob Paternostro's bench. I think the neutrals will probably be leaning towards London. And there's certainly some noise trying to put Patrick Whelan off at the free throw line, but he knocks them both down. Washburn round the screen. Foul called on Zach Jackson.
And we talked about Washburn early in the game. This is a guy who's had a cup of tea in the NBA, in particular scoring 8 points against the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. So he's been in this type of stage before. So I look for him to have a great game here tonight.
Reese and Crandall matched up against each other. Here's Kajini creating space for a shot. Tawia with the offensive rebound. Dirk Williams step back, long two, knocks it down.
Wow, his confidence is clearly high. He's looked for his shot early and he's delivered. Nice little step back dribble there. 5 points early for Dirk Williams.
Nelson Henry is blocked by Tawia. Lob to Dirk Williams, who couldn't quite catch it. It's out of bounds for a Leicester ball.
Riders fortunate that London didn't capitalise on that. Really good defensive play from Chris Tawia. It's a big, two big bodies going after it there, and a clean block. Wow.
It's Dirk Williams who's matched up against Crandall here. And Dirk gets his hands on it. And it's over the boards. You could have caught that, bro.
Yeah,
got a shot away.
A little bit outside of my comfort zone there. A little bit outside.
I was going to step in if I knew you were going to be shy. Come on, man.
Whoa.
The foul on Dirk Williams as Crandall was trying to lose him. I think Dirk Williams just said to Washburn, right, switch up now, you guard him, I've just got a foul. So they're going to throw as many bodies and as much physicality as they can at the two-time MVP. Good pass, and Jackson lays it in. The foul is called, will go to the line.
That's just beautiful. Great execution as well. They inbound the basketball, and if the defense sleeps for half a second, that's half a second too long. Great cut from Zach Jackson. Good finish.
And speaking of sleep, if they're going to make that switch, they have to do it a little bit earlier. They were a step behind there, and Geno, he can see the play develop before it happens, and saw that little pocket pass there to Zach Jackson.
Jackson misses the free throw. It almost comes all the way to him, but Reese is there to recover for London. That's off the foot of Crandall.
Oh, this is British basketball. You're never too far away from a side foot.
Washburn putting it on the floor, dumps it off to Tawia, hammers it down two-handed.
And what a good start he's had. Both ends of the floor. He's been given that starting center spot, and he's already paying his team.
Whelan has space because Williams is on the floor, but he overcooks everything there. Reese puts it on the floor, driving in to the fall away. Tough shot from Isaiah.
Really difficult. I think they did a really good job of running him off the line initially.
Oh, stolen. That's a backcourt. Surely that's the backcourt. Yeah, the referee got there in the end. It was stolen away and he threw it backwards. It was a deliberate pass. So it'll be a Leicester ball from the side.
But the energy from Dirk Williams there, being active with his hands. And we saw there the play before, he had fell to the ground trying to fight over a screen. That's nothing that's going to show up in the box sheet, but like we said at the top of the show, the winning plays that's required to win on this stage.
Josh Ward-Hibbert now with the job of guarding Crandall. Loving, driving hard to the hole. Tipped out by Nelson Henry. Reese has it.
Another good defensive play by Chris Tawia. Good positioning there. Came across, didn't reach. Made things difficult for Mark Levin.
Reese throws that into the crowd.
It's the one criticism of his game is that those turnovers. You know, he's someone who will give you 25, 30 points, but the turnover is very high usage, as we say. The ball's in his hands a lot, so there's obviously a lot of responsibility there and a lot of room for error to collect those turnovers, but he has to be someone who limits those in order for these Lions team to be in a good position to win this ball game.
Kelly into the game for the first time. Here's Nelson Henry trying to back him down. Gets him up in the air and in off the glass. That will count for Darian Nelson Henry. And Kyler Kelly's first contribution is a foul.
And Nelson Henry has the most beautiful feet for a big man in the BBL. And for anybody out there watching, in particular Kylie Kelly, wondering why he's coming off the bench, that reason. He's susceptible to getting into early foul trouble. So London Lions try to delay it by bringing him off. And you see there, he's already picked up a foul. 1 minute on the court.
Nelson Henry firstly 3-point play, and he will be replaced by Mo Walker.
These are two guys that Kyler Kelly's got his hands full with in defending. They like to share the minutes. They also share the efficiency and the damage they do down low. Kyler Kelly now on the early foul. I'm sure that will play on his mind now. See if that affects his aggressiveness.
Reese back to Washburn. To Ward Hibbert. Ward Hibbert to Kelly. Kelly floats it and gets a friendly bounce.
Good penetration on the dribble. And you're right, Dan. Ward Hibbert hasn't played, so we haven't said his name very much recently, but we know what he can do. He is a gamer. He's a guy that's not going to get fazed by big occasions such as this.
Nice pass and a good finish from Zach Jackson.
He moves so well without the basketball, Zach Jackson. Perfectly timed cut and a strong finish.
Reese going the opposite way to the screen, takes the three, makes the three.
Wow, well, Reese looks like he fancies it. 5 early points for him, and that one is high degree of difficulty.
And that's what Reese brings to the table. The statistics might not show it, but he is the best shooter among the point guards in our league. As you saw there, with a heavy hand in his face, he knocks it down.
Against one of the best defenders in the league, too. Geno Crandall, someone who likes to play defense. Long, athletic.
What we see here, this is the third defender on Geno Crandall. He must be pretty good, right?
Geno needs to go quick here. He needs to get the ball over the halfway. It's going to be an 8-second violation. Oh, they didn't call it. Oh, they did. It was right. It was late, but it was right.
Well, I mean, you saw it before anyone in the Riders camp saw that.
Well, it just took too long because they only had 4 seconds from the inbound, and then the knock loose, and coach was shouting, "Get it over," but he couldn't hear him from all the way over there.
But Drew, that's a valid point. You know, they've got different bodies on him.
Reese again for three.
Isaiah Reese continues his onslaught. 8 early points for him. They throw different bodies at Geno Crandall.
Stolen away by Dirk Williams. Lob back to Washburn. He lays it in for 2.
What a play right there by Dirk Williams. Again, we saw it there on the defensive end as he's hyped up, sacrificing his body for the team. He gets on the floor again, making a winning play, a spectacular play there as he reaches there and Whelan's pocket. And
the first time that happened, there was a great steal and a backcourt violation from Dirk Williams. This time, fully paid the price. The Riders is able to steal the basketball. His teammate delivers.
And Koya cutting back door and laying it in.
Beautiful pass there. Mo Walker can see everything up there, and Jabril Adekoya already on the score sheet.
Reese to Williams. Foul is called. Basket is good.
This is the concern here for the Riders. They've been known to be able to defensively cripple teams. And at the moment, the London Lions get them whatever they want. 4 minutes to play, already with 19 points on the board.
Well, and we know how talented this London Lions team is, and we've said it all year that they just haven't played up to their potential. But early in this game, the first 6 minutes, I see that look in their eyes. That's a look that I've experienced myself before, and so they look highly motivated. They know that they can cover up a lot of their sins if they can come out with the victory here today.
I like what Coach Paternoster's done as well. A little bit of early adversity here. Connor Washington put something to this game. Connor Washington's been playing in these types of games for a very, very long time. The first playoff final we won back in 2013, Connor Washington was a pivotal part of that.
Here's Walker using his strength to the hook and finishing.
That's just nice. Mo Walker coming off the bench. Top 5 in field goal percentage, and so the Leicester Riders, when it comes to their bigs, just are full of riches.
Genie. Oh, up in the air, gets it back to Reese. Reese into Kelly to the finger roll, tips it in himself.
That's just great work from Kyler Kelly. If at first you don't succeed, try again, and he stayed with the play. Because of that 7-foot athletic frame, he was able to get back off the floor quickly and put it back.
Ward Hibbett committing the foul on Crandall on the inbound, and that is their 5th of the quarter, so Leicester will shoot 2 free throws.
What an asset it is to have Josh Ward Hibbett back. He makes them so much tougher. And of all the injuries and complications that this London Lions team have had, you do ask the question, what would it have been like if Josh Ward Hibbett was available?
Well, I'll reflect back this season because Ward Hibbett's missed a lot of time. He was influential in that win at the Copper Box early. And then if we rewind to 2 years ago when the Leicester Riders visited the Copper Box, after being out for very long with injuries, he came out and hit that 3 in the corner to lift him to victory. So an asset for the London Lions.
Geno has it for London. Reese. Reese from miles out. Hits the 3!
Goodness me, that's unguardable. The range he has, the ease he has, the pulling up there. Wow, 11 points personal by there, Reese now.
We might need to bring out the fire brigade because he is hotter than fish grease right now.
Washington. Blocked from behind by Kelly. Dirk Williams, the transition 3. Too long.
Was a little bit too much of a rush shot there early.
Crandall with the transition 3, and his is off the mark as well. Leicester with the offensive rebound. Washington, he can't convert.
Both teams getting swayed into shooting these early shots. It's really difficult. Easy for me to say here, sitting here. Be patient, get a good shot, but...
Adekoya leaving a bit on Kelly there as the alley-oop went to go. The referee's just having a conversation as to whether that was over the line in terms of the unsportsmanlike foul, I think.
Over what line? I mean, that's just a little love tap he gave Kelly right there, just saying you're not coming in my paint and just setting the tone. This playoff basketball is a championship on the line. Let's play.
Well, Jabril Adekoya's fouled there because he knows how devastating that 1-5 combo is. The point guard throwing those alley-oops to Kyler Kelly. A high success rate.
It is a regular foul, so it's a baseline ball. Knocked into Ward Hibbett, and that's a hell ball. Leicester will get it back.
Good hands there from Jabril Adekoya to tie up Josh Ward Hibbett. And that foul has not only prevented a basket, to give this team possession back. Good strong hands there. He's got that ability to guard people, 1 through 5, just because he's got that strength and the good hands. Very versatile on the defensive end as he is on the offensive end.
Crandall down to Nelson Henry. Going against I think that's going to be on Williams as he came for the help, and that's going to be his second if it is on Dirk.
Perhaps a little too aggressive down that double team. Goodness, closest thing. I don't know if he hit him or not, but it wasn't an obvious foul in my eyes.
Well, the concern is London Lions' best player, in my opinion, to start this game, goes to the bench with 2 early fouls. And if we remember the playoff final last year, Dirk Williams got in foul trouble, and that totally changed the trajectory of that game. So let's see how the Lions adjust.
Well, they're up 10 at the minute. They've had as good a first quarter as they could have hoped for, really. 4 of 6 from 3. Leicester haven't made a single 3-pointer yet. Genie's going to try and add to that. That 3 doesn't go. Washington for 3. And Adekoya just couldn't quite time that, and Josh Ward Hibbett did. Here's Geno. Out to Ward Hibbett. Ward Hibbett driving in. Adekoya might have got a little piece of that ball.
He just didn't have quite enough on the legs and the finish there.
Washington left his first 3 of the game.
That's mental toughness there. He's missed his first couple of shots there, but that confidence there to to know when to knock it down under a big moment, and he does.
Reese trying to find room in the lane, tosses it up, tosses it in. 13 points for Isaiah Reese.
And not only can he stroke it from outside, he can get to the paint where he has that little soft floater there where he guard and he throws it up to Kelly.
Well, everything but the finish there for Crandall.
It's such a good job to create a shooting opportunity there, Crandall. He just couldn't knock it down.
Reese right up by the halfway line. Fires up another three. That one's short. Forced to Kelly, though. And, oh, he can't put it in. Well, the shot clock is on, but there's only a second or so differential between it and the game, so Leicester can run this right down, try and eat into this 8-point deficit. Crandall attacks. Walker with the offensive rebound and the putback. There's still time here for London. They go quick enough. Geno from the halfway line. Over the top of the backboard. Well, an excellent start for the London Lions. Gunning threes from all over the court. And they have landed the first blow in the playoff final. They have themselves a 29-23 lead at the end of the opening period here at the O2. We'll be back with the second quarter after this break. Welcome back to the O2. The London Lions have a 6-point lead after a high-scoring opening quarter in the playoff final. They also have possession to start. And here's Ryan Martin. Reese. Washburn misses the three, tipped up in the air by Neighbor, but McKenzie has it. McKenzie all the way, but misses the finger roll.
He went at high speed and he did the hard part. I thought he did really well with the body controller and the bump, but just wasn't able to get enough on the finger roll.
Reese runs out. Washington. Late in the shot clock now. Washington long two. Back iron, but it comes all the way to him, so he steps back and fires up a three instead and hits.
Connor Washington came in the game, started off a little cold, but 6 early points for him, and again, he's a guy, his experience and his non-fear of being on this stage will help this Riders team.
Talk about confidence.
Martin back iron. He's also all over the court, Washington. Defending, rebounding, attacking. Can't finish that one. Leicester still have it with Walker. He's blocked by Martin, though. Geno for 3. Hits! And that is a 5th three-pointer for the London Lions.
Well, our transition there, he told the line it looked, but just a pull-up from Geno.
McKenzie's kind of stuck. Gets away to Lovey. Lovey driving to the basket, but it rims out. Geno driving in. Oh, he tried to pass, but that's going to be a foul on Geno.
Good hands from Adekoya to prevent that ball getting through to Martin, which you feel would be an easy layup, and then way too much contact there. Follow through from Geno. That'll be one of the easier calls the refs will have to make today.
And if I'm Geno, I think he wishes he had that play back. He should have just pulled up on a dime, because getting into the paint and playmaking isn't his strength. His strength is getting his feet set and letting it go. So, misplay there by Geno.
Washburn chasing McKenzie. Into Nelson Henry. Neighbor on his back, squares up to him. Goes underneath and is fouled, and it will drop for Darian Nelson Henry.
Second and 1 play of this evening from Nelson Henry. Nice little spin baseline, and that's a really tough cover for Will Napier under there.
And at 65%, Nelson Henry, it basically says anywhere in the paint, he's not missing.
Well, he's just sort of put Neighbor out of the game, I think, on that play. And brought Kelly back.
Yeah, well, Will Neighbor hasn't seen a lot of time this year. He's been in and out of the lineup with injuries, and we talk about this during the other finals that we covered. This isn't the environment to try to experiment or see how a guy is feeling. You either got it or you don't, and you have to pull the string very quickly, so a great call there by Coach.
Nelson Henry converts the three-point play. Williams. Washburn. Washburn with the step back. That's a tough shot. He leaves it short. Kelly on the offensive glass. That's an offensive foul. Use of the arm there by Kyler Kelly.
Yeah, it's going to go against him. I've liked his activity so far in this game. That's 2 fouls for him, 4 points, 5 rebounds. But those 2 fouls will give Coach Lowry now a decision whether to keep him on the floor this half.
And I didn't like that offensive set by the Lions. I would get Reese back in this game pretty soon if I don't see that thing cleaned up on that side of the ball.
Nelson Henry going at Kelly. That's foul number 3 on Kyler Kelly. And he's got to be careful here. He's having an argument with the referee. He doesn't want to pick up the 4th on a technical.
Well, we've seen technicals been given for a lot less than that. I think a timeout's called now.
Yeah. Well, there's everything going out on court. It's a great move by Nelson Henry. He's so good at getting players up in the end. You can see right on the edge there. And timeout has been called. We are tied at 31. Well, it's been a long time since somebody's beaten Leicester in a playoff final. If only we had the MVP who won in that playoff final. Wait, we do. Mike Tuck, how did you guys beat Leicester in 2016?
Yeah, that was a good day. I remember that one vividly, but similar situation here. We've got the Leicester Riders back in the game, but the Leicester Riders are a team that just stick around. You know, they're well put together, they're well coached, they play very well on the defensive end, and they're able to move the ball and shift the ball on the offensive end. So you cannot count them out at any moment. That's the one thing we learned when we played them.
That certainly is the case. I mean, it was a fantastic day for you. Obviously, MVP holding that golden basketball up at the end of it. It's what both these teams are after.
100%. There's no better feeling, you know, here down on the day, winner takes all. We've got the O2 packed out today, very similar to my experience, and hopefully we'll see a great game here throughout the rest.
Well, it's certainly been pretty good so far. We are tied at 31. Leicester have an opportunity through Nelson Henry to take the lead from the free throw line. They trail by as many as 10, but they've outscored London 8-2 here to start the second quarter.
How good has he been, by the way? I think we sometimes get distracted by the glitz and the glamour play of the guards, but Nelson Henry, 4 for 5 from the field at the moment, 10 points personal. He's got Kyler Kelly in foul trouble.
Washburn to Tawia, back to Washburn. Puts it on the floor, has to put that up high. It hits the top of the board. Still legal as long as it doesn't hit the stanchion behind. Here's Nelson Henry trying to dive on the floor for it, and that will be a hell ball. No quarter hour still given here.
Well, how many bodies have we seen on the floor so far in this game? You could tell what it means to these guys sacrificing their body as Washburn pretty much tackles Nelson Henry, but, you know, guys leaving it all out there because there is no tomorrow.
I'm not sure he's got his hands on the ball there, is he? He's got his
I
head.
don't know how he's got away with that one. I really don't.
The refs are being very lenient today. I like what they did with Kelly. Usually you mention Ant, normally a quick whistle with those techs, but in this environment, you know, emotions roll high, and sometimes you got to let it roll a little bit.
Jackson back to Nelson Henry. A lot of pump fakes. He needs to go up. He does in the end. I think he made it hard for himself.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the balance there, which made him short on the shot. But his team are going to him.
Reese. Kicked out to Washburn. Back to Reese. He's going to let fly again. That one's short. Long rebound. Comes out. Crandall has it. Crandall pushing. Well, there's all sorts of battle going on in the paint. Jackson driving through, and I think Dirk Williams gets called for that foul, and that will be his third personal foul.
Wow. Two key players now in foul trouble for the Lions. Kyler Kelly, Dirk Williams. This time Zach Jackson just takes it hard to the rim.
It is a risk. I think one of the better ways to play Leicester is to be physical with them, to try and get them out of their spots, make it hard. But it is a gamble in that if you're too physical with it, even in a playoff final where the whistles, the referees are more reticent to call some stuff, you can get guys in foul trouble as London have here.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. And how about Geno Crandall? We know he likes the post, but he's there trying to post up Chris Taiwa, and he's there battling. And, you know, this is a great game we have on our hands here today.
Well, they've been down 10, but that's their biggest lead, Leicester. Up 2. Kajuni to Tawia. Tawia putting the ball on the floor. Out to Kajuni, wide open in the corner for 3. Oh, it just doesn't drop for him, but great work from Washburn. Nelson Henry is going to pick up the foul on that.
Wow. Geno usually knock those ones down. Ryder's got away with one there.
Yes.
It was Chris Tower that was the creator. But again, good energy from Julian Washburn, and he'll get credit for the offensive rebound here. But it's just plays like this that you need to make in order to give yourself an opportunity to win a BBL playoff.
Yeah, you don't often get your 5 on the drive and kick, do you? But it's pretty effective from Tawia. Washburn to the fall away, overcooks it. Crandall, what a pass that is to Jackson. Jackson to the fall away, high arcer, tipped up in the air by Tawia. I thought for a second he might have tipped it into his own basket the way it was going, but it did fall short. Ward Hibbert Knocks it down.
Absolute gamer. Josh Woodhead been out for months. Thrust him in a situation like this.
Crandall driving through and is fouled on the arm. Reese says, me, no. But the referee says it is you, and it's his second personal foul.
The quickness and response, able to push the basketball in a matter of seconds up the other end of the court. Right in between the two defenders, makes the referee blow the whistle.
And it's just a smart play by Crandall. Usually when you're getting pressured there, 94 feet, guys want to play and dance with the ball, and you're always taught at the young level, make one move and beat him, and you saw he put the burners in, got all the way to the cup.
Crandall, all 4 of his points have come from the free throw line today. Let's make that 5. Reese, sizing up lovely. He's got to shoot here, clock's getting low. Reese pulls up. Nelson Henry with the rebound.
Didn't really like that offense, ball didn't move. Isolation play that really wasn't in his flow.
Oh my goodness, Geno Crandall, that is incredible.
He shot it from his hip. Wow. Great cut as well from Zach Jackson, who moves throughout the ball so well.
4 minutes to play in the first half. Washburn, Ward Hibbert steps into the 3. And his body's on the floor. Not sure who the foul is. 25 for the hold is Chris Tawiah. So that'll be 2 shots for the Leicester Riders captain Darian Nelson Henry.
Well, what's concerning for me is London's offense is dried up. We talked about it at the top of this game of how well they were moving within their sets, and now ball's getting a little bit sticky, offense getting a little bit stagnant, and that plays right into the Leicester Riders' hands.
6 minutes played in the second quarter. 4 points for the London Lions, who scored 29 in the first quarter.
And that's the danger you play. When you have a hot hand, you can go to that hot hand. So whether that's Isaiah Reese or it's Derek Williams, that's great because they're hitting. But when the shots are stopped falling, that's when you struggle because the other guys have just been standing around or not been played, have not been contributing as much into the offense. So it's really difficult then to then ask more of them in producing.
But I was just going to say, that's a great point. When you're a role player, you haven't touched the ball in 4 or 5 possessions, and then you're asked to make a corner 3. It's a very tough situation to be in, so they got to get that ball back moving again and let everyone touch it.
Reese. Oh, they left him alone, and he made them pay.
Oh, they're relying on one guy, Isaiah Reese. No pocket of space there for him, and as comfortable as they come. 16 now for Reese.
Crandall, top of the key, first field goal make for him.
And he's got himself going there from the free throw line. You touched on it earlier. 4 of his 6 points coming from the line. He got his confidence going, and now looks to get that mid-range pumping.
Ward Hibbert in the corner. Into the middle, steps underneath, throws it too high. Get Washburn active on the offensive glass, but he can only knock it out of bounds. Bradley Caboza checks into the game for Josh Ward Hibbert. I think that's everybody except Williams and who else? Lockhart's not come in for the London Lions. Crandall trying to force it in there, loses the ball. Reese, step back, short. Washburn uses his height for the rebound, out to Cagini for 3. Another offensive rebound. Back to Cagini. He still can't convert. London still have it, do they? Yes, Tawiah is blocked, but there's a foul in there somewhere.
Good energy from Chris Tawiah, though. He was involved in much of that. just keeping the ball alive. Good energy, good strength, and Geno just wasn't able to get it done on a number of occasions there. That one pops back out, but he's 1-7, from the field at the moment.
Yeah, and 0 for 5 from the three-point line, and you're talking about one of the best pure shooters in our game, and we saw this in the trophy final. In particular, Lorenzo Cugini struggles from the perimeter, so if London are going to have some success here today, he's got to get going.
Rob Paternostro calling a timeout for the Leicester Riders. Darian Nelson-Henry picking up his second personal foul in that play. I assume that means Mo Walker will return. He's certainly sat on the bench as if he is coming in, but you see the points by quarter for the two teams. Leicester consistent, 23, then 17. London, well, as their season has been, not quite as consistent. 29 in the first quarter, only 7 here in the second.
Yeah, for me, and it's been the same old story all season long. The Leicester Riders depending on that second unit, and I'll just put it in perspective for you. The starters, they're the Porsche, they're the everyday car. Those bench players, they're the Lambo sitting in the garage you only bring out on a hot, sunny day just to show out. That's the Leicester Riders roster in a nutshell.
Well, the engine of that Lambo...
pass, incredible vision to see it, let alone throw it.
And then to get it too, the ball was stuck on his hip. It's really hard to sometimes gather the ball and shoot it out like he did. It was quite remarkable. And the engine, inside that Lamborghini, Connor Washington, 6 points personal for him, but a +8.
And just to clarify, I don't own either car, so.
He doesn't own either, he owns both.
Yeah.
Tawier at the free throw line. That's not necessarily his strongest aspect of his game. Former Leicester man, of course.
What they've got out of Chris Tawier so far today has been good, really good. We often see him being put in the starting 5, and then he'll play 5 minutes, and then sometimes he won't feature, or we won't see him have an impact on the rest of the game. But today he knows he's got an opportunity. Kylie Kelly 3 fouls, so he knows his minutes are going to be even more so extended, and so far he's delivering. He's been a positive impact for this London Lions team so far today.
And this is a guy that was buried on the bench for a stretch, maybe a month of the season. So that's the ultimate pro of just being patient, waiting for your number to be called, and then delivering.
Walker. Jackson squares up, looking to get into the key. Lobs it in for 2.
He's so good at that quick release floater shot. The biggest thing to stop him is to stop him getting in those danger areas, but he's so good, he's so crafty at that.
4 or 5 for 10 points. Reese to the runner. There's Tawier again on the offensive glass, but just couldn't keep it in play.
Lions offense struggling at the moment. Nothing really consistent going at the rim. They require players such as Isaiah Reese to create. That's not sustainable, especially against this Leicester Riders defense. They have to figure out a way.
Crandall pulls up, but rims out. Kaboza. 80 seconds to go here in the first half. A half that London have led by 10, but trail here now by 6. Kaboza's going to take the 3. Crandall with the rebound.
And the Leicester Riders will live with that. They'll live with that shot. It's not to say that Kaboza can't make it, and we've seen him make big shots, but I know that they'd rather have him hurt them than Cugini or Reese or Dirk Williams.
Nice little give and go between 1 and 5, and Geno Crandall lays it in, and with 55 seconds to go in the first half, the London Lions call for time.
That Riders team look like a team that have played together throughout the whole season. They look like a team to me that have been through battles. They've won a bunch of games, and they know each other. Great cut, great pass, good finish.
And because London have started struggling to score, where has it affected them the most? On the defensive end. You see it. They begin to lose their energy. They've lost their teeth. So, their offense, usually fuels their defense.
Well, I said it in the previous timeout. as we put the quarter scores up again, 23-21. It's virtually identical with less than a minute to go. 29-27. In a game of this magnitude, you have to keep doing what you're doing effectively.
And the mentality is consistent as well. You know, had the reverse roles been, let's just say Leicester Riders jumped on the London Lions early, like the London Lions did to the Leicester Riders, where would we be now? Would it be a 20-point game because they couldn't withstand the adversity? The Leicester Riders had a really substantial halt to dig. They were down 10 early in this game, didn't panic. They stayed to the plan, they stayed together because they trust one another, and now they find themselves up by 8.
And the culture is what's got them through. I looked at their bench here after the first quarter, and I saw everybody stand up, patting those guys on the back, saying, come on, guys, you can do it. Being positive.
Whelan harassing Caboza. Washburn. Spinning back. Kicked across. Here's Reese for 3. Knocks it down again. 19 first half points right there, Reese.
Good play out of that timeout. Bradley Caboza brought the ball up. A lot of the action was down at this end of the court. And the whole time, Reese didn't really move, but the action from his teammates got him the open shot. Good play.
Leicester running down the final offense here of the first half. Crandall with Caboza in front of him. Looks to attack. Crandall spins. Gets the shot away. And he drops in for Geno Crandall. And that will do it for the first half. In the playoff final here in London, the Leicester Riders will go into the locker room with the lead. His team trailed by 10 early on, but Rob Paternostro will be the happier of the two coaches as they go into the break.
I think so. I think he'll be happy with his team's response after the early deficit. But more importantly, I think defensively, they've stepped up. London Lions were only able to muster 10 points in that whole quarter, which suggests to me the Leicester Riders defense has stepped up.
Well, it certainly did. That equals the lowest second quarter score of the playoff final history. 10 points Leicester against Newcastle in 2012. And once we look at the shooting numbers, and Leicester really haven't gone. They're a team that shoots the three-point shot very well. They haven't really gone to the three-point shot. Just 6 attempts and made 2 of them. But Reese has led the London Lions. That's 6 of 18 from behind the arc. We'll get some reaction now from the Leicester Riders captain. Darren Nelson-Henry is with Mike Tuck.
Darren, first off, congratulations on making the team of the year. Second off, a slow start for you guys in the first quarter here. What was the biggest thing that changed going into the second?
It's just hard to get into a routine, when you're playing in a new venue, new court, everything like that. So obviously we were a little sluggish, but going into the second quarter, we knew, over 40 minutes, we're one of the best teams in the league, and we just need to keep chugging along, keep doing what we do, and eventually the scales will balance.
Yeah, and you've got Coach of the Year in Rob Paternostro. What sort of things was he talking about before the game?
Just do what we've been doing all year. That's what he said. Focus on our principles, good defense, spreading the floor, making sure we have good spacing, all the stuff that Rob stresses throughout the year. And, we've had a good year so far, so there's no reason to change anything going into the final.
And defense seemed to be a big key factor for you guys in that second quarter. You held them to 10 points. Was that something that was talked about in the huddle?
Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't be a Rob Paternostro huddle if he didn't talk about defense, So he just said keep communicating, over-communicating. It's loud in here. We got to make sure we hear calls. We got to make sure that we're locked in and on point. And, once you settle in, that stuff becomes a little bit easier.
Darren, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Yep.
Rob Paternostro calling the shots for the Riders after a nervy, shaky start by their stand as the champs started to find their groove. Stifled an explosive first quarter from London, and they go into the locker room with a 7-point lead at the half. Solid first half in the end from the Leicester Riders after a shaky start and a hot start from the Lions. Connor Washington and some of the seasoned vets started to calm things. Geno Crandall showing more of his magic, increasing his influence as the game went on. And the Riders go into the half with a 7-point lead. Ayo Beats entertaining the crowd here at the half, a packed crowd here at the O2. So a lot of background noise, and I need you to stay focused, Kieran and Chara, because we've got to analyse what we've just seen in the first two quarters. The Lions, their MO all season long offensively has been trying it from downtown. 33% from 18 attempts compared to just Leicester's 6. And if Isaiah Reese wasn't on hot form, that percentage would have been woeful.
Yeah, definitely. Isaiah Reese got a really strong start, but Lions came out the gates. You know, they wanted to challenge the Leicester Riders, and they did a really great job in that first quarter.
Let's talk about quarter on quarter, because it was a brilliant offensive start for the Lions, and Isaiah Reese was a big part of that, but just 10 points in the second quarter. So what did Leicester change up defensively to limit them?
I think that actually they ramped up their defence, but at the same time Dirk Williams went out with foul problems. They weren't getting the same clean looks. So Leicester just stayed composed. They know they were going to score the ball themselves, ramped up their defence, and I think essentially the Lions burnt out after that first quarter.
Is that the issue? If we look at Isaiah Reese, first of all, who was the standout player on the court, I think it's fair to say, certainly for the Lions, 19 points, dropped 5 from downtown. That got the Lions team moving, got their fans rolling as well. But critics will say that this game plan is too limited, right? He's hot at the moment, but if he goes cold, they don't have a plan B.
It's very one-dimensional at this moment in time, but no, Isaiah Reese is playing, he's playing like an MVP. He's stepped up, he's making some big shots, but again, it's one-dimensional. If those shots are not dropping, they don't have a plan B at this moment in time.
Can they win if he keeps staying hot? I mean, does it matter if there's no plan B, if he keeps playing like that?
If he can keep that up, definitely, but at the same time, it's Leicester Riders you're playing against. It's very, very hard to play that way for 40 minutes.
Yeah, you pointed that out after their first quarter. You leaned over to me and said, brilliant first quarter from the Lions, but try and sustain this for 4 quarters against the number 1 defence in the BBL. Well, Leicester did have a difficult start at both ends of the court, but they steadied the ship, and in particular, Rob Paternostro went to his vets. Connor Washington came off the bench early on and had an impact here.
What a great job Connor Washington did. Knocked out 2 big shots that really got them back into the game. It allowed them to stay composed. We are here, we know what we can do. He settled the fort. And that's what Connor Washington does. He brings an extra dimension. He's got that experience. He knows he can make shots. He's ready for his big stage, and he showed it today.
Another seasoned vet who helped steady the ship for the Leicester Riders was their skipper, Darian Nelson-Henry, voted into the BBL Team of the Year. Incidentally, you have described him, Kieran, as one of the most efficient players, all-round players in the BBL, and he demonstrated that efficiency today.
He is so efficient in all different matchups. What I loved he did, we know about Kyler Kelly being a great shot blocker. Darian Nelson-Henry went right at him, got him under the paint, used his shot feet, got him to jump, and was getting the easy baskets. I always say Kyler Kelly's a great off-the-ball defender. So on the ball, Darian Nelson exploited that, and it really got them back into the game as well.
Now, Geno Crandall's performance in many ways mirrored the Riders' collective performance, right? He didn't do much early on, certainly didn't seem to be in his typical groove, but his influence increased as the game went on, and he started to pull out some of his tricks.
Well, it reminded me a lot of the Kennedy Leonard in the last game. He stays doing his job, assisting, not turning the ball over, and then all of a sudden he just turns it up at any stage, so he does what it takes to win, and that's what right now, if that's getting the ball into Mo Walker or Darren Nelson-Henry in the post, he's going to do that. If he needs to score, get to his mid-range jump shot, he's going to do that. So right now he's stayed level-headed throughout these first 2 quarters, and it's paying dividends for the Leicester Riders.
Just very quickly on that, Darian Nelson-Henry, what he said in his halftime interview, one of the reasons it took him time to get settled was the environment. They're not used to it, not used to this type of court, this type of experience. Can you sense that from the Riders? Even a team this season and experienced early on?
just look at, I'm finding it hard. This is my first time in the big stage. It's really hard to stay composed. A lot of noise going on, different rims, big arena. It's like an NBA arena. This is a great, world-class arena. So obviously it's going to play a role. But at the same time, we know Leicester Riders, they are one of the best teams for staying composed. They never get too shook. Stayed within the game, stuck to their game plan, and they're on top at this moment in time.
Incidentally, you've got nothing to worry about. You're nailing it. We have seen all season long Viti's interviews from the players that go out there every single week and entertain us to find out a little bit more about the personalities on the court. Here are some of our favourite clips.
And action. I don't know how to say my name in a Geordie accent. Louis Ciaz.
Martel McLemore. I'm tripping. I've been waiting too long. I couldn't remember my team. Let's start over.
Point guard. Oh, wait, I'm not a point guard.
I get buckets.
Doug Williams sneaks back to the corner, gets himself open. It's another one.
Let it fly.
Martin onto Williams. Cugini gets it away in time, and Renzo Cugini hits yet another three-pointer.
Everlasting life.
More genies.
To be a millionaire or something. Billionaire, my fault. I say take it back. Billionaire.
Could be for world peace. Oh, that was corny. Please take that out.
LOL, that's all I do. A box of surprises.
Oh, it's just me like shrugging. I feel like that's kind of always my move.
Maybe the butterfly. Butterfly.
I'll probably say Superman, because can't nobody stop him unless they have kryptonite. And I feel like can't nobody stop me unless they find out my kryptonite.
My superpower would be to morph into anything in the world, like Boris Johnson or someone, and just... or the Queen.
To be invisible on my command. Because there's a couple of teammates that I would like to, kind of slap up a little bit.
1 second. Does that count? That would be a common party trick. Coffee all day, all night, no questions asked.
Give me that white chocolate mocha, venti, oat milk, whipped cream.
Neither, Dr. Pepper.
But this year I've been drinking a lot more tea. I think it's just being back in England, honestly.
Any black coffee that's gonna get me jittering. I'll go with that.
Probably in it. We. The whole little, a wee boy.
Oh, I do got one. Man them.
Pang.
Could you put peng into a sentence?
That cabbage we had was pang, bro.
Like, yeah, after every word. Like, yeah, you good, yeah? It's a nice car, yeah?
Shaky.
Oh, cheeky.
Yeah, cheeky. I just heard it like 2 days ago they said that. Cheeky Nando's.
I beg you, please turn the car around.
Wasteman.
So many thoughts going through my head right now. Firstly, decent action from Trajan Jacob, I thought. That was solid from him.
Really stepped up.
Fletcher's dance moves. What was that? Do we know what that was?
I think Drew Lasker's been showing him a thing or two.
We've got the after party after this. I'll see if Lasker can pull one of those off. And maybe most importantly of all, Kimball McKenzie, that makes you shudder and have to look away every time he does it.
Oh, I'm going to say it in a different way, but that's absolutely disgusting.
It's the wrong kind of Kiranachara. It's disgusting. If we get on court later on and can grab Kimball McKenzie, if things go the Riders' way, I'm going to get him to do that, especially for you in the post-game interview. So if it is going to go the Riders' way, more of the same, I guess, in terms of the composure, the calmness. What Darian Nelson-Henry was saying, let's get back to the ball we've been playing all season long.
If they can make it a defensive game, they're going to win this game, And that's the thing from a London Lions perspective. Let's see how Dirk Williams starts this third quarter. He was a real spark to the London Lions. He got himself in foul trouble. So if he can really pick that up and be that second scorer alongside Isaiah Reese, we've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, well, I cannot wait for it. The second half coming your way, and the Lions are still very much in this. It's a 7-point ball game, but with the offensive firepower that they have and the form that Isaiah Reese is in, even up against the MVP and the champs, they are right in this ball game. Welcome back to the season finale here at the O2, and this one is too close to call. At the half of the men's BBL playoff final, the champs, the cup holders, the Riders, on course for the treble right now, but it's a 7-point lead against an explosive Lions offense. Cannot wait to get the second half underway, so let's do just that and hand back over to Ant and Dan.
Thank you very much, Nat. The word Nat used there, explosive Lions offense. We saw that in the first quarter. We need to see more of that London Lions offense here in the second half.
Yes, and there can be a strong correlation between offense and defense as well. If they go for a patch where they're not shooting the ball particularly well, they can jeopardize their defense, meaning they can't just stop playing. And that's what happened in that second quarter. They conceded 23 again against the Riders, but then only able to commit 10 points on the board.
Well, we needed an MVP to join us. The 2016 playoff final MVP, Mike Tuck, has come in to commentary with us. They're going with Dirk Williams at the start. They're going to need him to avoid that fourth foul at all costs.
Yeah, 100%. I really liked the energy that Dirk started the game with, and he's a guy that I played on the Sharks with. He's always a guy who has a much better game when he gets going early, and that's what we saw from him. Unfortunately, foul trouble. He's got to be careful now for the rest of the game. We need him on the offensive end for the Lions.
Big block from Loving. Crandall is fouled.
It's a huge block from Mark Lovin. It sets a message too. Isaiah Reese lead no scores with 19 points. It looks like a certified layup, and Mark Lovin comes right across there. Basket saving block. Nice play.
Well, Reese has had a discussion with the referee about, he thought he was fouled, I assume, and they've just got a warning as a team as a result of the chatter from Isaiah Reese. Crandall makes the second free throw. Crandall with the foul over the back. Just Reese, clever little stop there, putting the brakes on.
Great ball control here from Reese. You know, does the snake dribble around the screen, gets Crandall on his hip, little stop and pop, easy foul.
Washburn. Geno struggling from the three-point line today.
He just cannot get it to go. He's struggling from everywhere at the moment. And Geno 1 for 8 from the field, and he's a guy that they're going to need to contribute offensively here if they're able to cut into this deficit.
Whelan is blocked by Tawia,
who had a really positive first half. Chris Tower protecting that rim.
Reese all the way to the glass and lays it in. 21 points for Isaiah Reese.
That's so tough. As soon as he gets past his first ball, there's the block previously. Chris Tower gets past the first man and then they will extend over. They're outraged on Nelson Henry.
And those are the type of plays the London Lions are going to need down the stretch here to get back in this game. Stops on the defensive end and good aggressive takes on the offense.
Nelson Henry went through all his reads and then went, you know what, let's knock it down an elbow jumper.
Well, for as good as he is in the low post, he's good enough basketball player to be able to knock down a 15-footer if given the time and space. And that's
Williams striving to the hole for the lay-in.
That's a good sign, as you said, Mike. Early on, Derek Williams was that catalyst offensively. Take him to 10 points personal now and an early score for him in the second half.
Lobbed up to Nelson Henry. He took a little further away than perhaps you would have liked, and there's going to be a foul there on Geno Crandall. That's 2 in quick succession.
Both kind of nothing fouls as well. I think the first one, yes, it was intelligent play from Reese, but Geno Crandall could have prevented that. And then again, the same situation there. Doesn't need to reach in there.
Reese along the baseline continues to score.
How about that hesitation on the baseline there? Notice you have to switch out with Nelson Henry and use the speed and quickness to get to the basket.
And when you drag Nelson Henry out from the rim as well, as you can see, there was zero interior defense there to come over and contest that shot and layup from Isaiah Reese.
Jackson with the hook. Oh, is that a goaltend? Or did it hit? Maybe it hit the ring. Leicester thought it was a goaltend, but maybe it hit the ring first. Here's Geno in the corner for 3. Finally gets one to go.
Good shooters keep shooting the basketball, and for all his struggles so far today, Geno gets one to go.
That's a great shot for Geno. A good one to get him back in rhythm. Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot.
I like that. That's what you've been doing all these years.
Shooters shoot, baby.
Nelson Henry loses it. London with a chance to regain the lead if Reese can regain the ball, first of all. Derek Williams fires it up. Nelson Henry with the rebound.
Well, the good news is the misses were good. I mean, they're halfway down, and Patrick Whelan gets called for the offensive foul, and Reese this time making a defensive play.
Incredible presence of mind there from Isaiah Reese, able to step in front of Pat Whelan, take the charge, easy turn of possession.
Reese, Geno, just either side of the line, and that will be worth 2 for Geno. It will put the London Lions back in front, and it will force Rob Paternoster into a timeout.
That slip there from Geno Crandall allowed all the time in the world for Lorenzo Gugini to take that, looked like a set shot, but he shot thousands and thousands of those in the gym by himself. And that is like a layup to him.
Well, he couldn't find one in the first half, but he's made a couple of shots here early in the second half to put his team back in front.
And this is the type of energy that we needed to see from London in that second quarter. You know, they've really, you know, you can tell they've gone to that locker room. They've had a good discussion about what they needed to do on the offensive end. Get certain guys going, get key guys going. Stop letting that ball get sticky. Let's move the ball. We've got everybody on this team can play.
Well, let's hear from Drew.
Hey, Justin, we saw you go down a couple of weeks ago, and we know how you would love to be out there. What service are you offering your teammates?
You know, just still trying to be that leader, you know, always in guys' ears, giving them positive reinforcement, encouraging guys. And obviously I'm on the bench, so if I see anything, trying to give them tips and help them out always.
And what's required if they're going to get the win?
I mean, a team like Leicester, you know, you got to really be solid, really be disciplined, and you got to play hard. You know, all the loose balls, the rebounds, the steals, that has to be us, you know. So we just got to be solid, and we should be good. It should be good.
Thanks for your time. Get healthy, boy.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Back underway. The Leicester Riders bringing it forward. Crandall doesn't get it to go. Another rebound for Chris Tawia, his 9th of the game.
He's been excellent down low, playing that role very, very well. Had a positive influence on this team so far. The confidence is growing in this London team right now. You can see it.
Reese orchestrating things. Needs some help. Sends his man back door, but sends the pass out of bounds.
Yeah, there's definitely a feel of like a little bit of momentum with this London team, especially through all the ups and downs and the pressure they've had on them this season. Everything leading up to this game, though, they feel like they've got that little bit of an edge to them.
Crandall lobbing it towards Nelson Henry, but straight out of bounds.
It was the right idea, just wasn't executed correctly. It's a rare error we see between those two. Often, you know, more often than not, it's a great pass and an easy finish for Nelson Henry. A little bit of a dry patch here for the Leicester Riders offense.
Just 3 points in the first 5 minutes of this second half for Leicester. Kajini, he's got 7 here in the second half.
Wow, confidence is a beautiful thing. When you've got it, and you've got a jump shot as pure as that, difficult to stop.
And that's it. You only need to see one of those shots go in, and next thing you know, you've hit 3 in a row.
Whelan for 3 off the mark.
Well, that's someone who we know has had such a good season for the Leicester Riders, over 16 points a game.
Alley-oop to Tawia, who finishes.
Well, it's not Tyler Kelly, it's Chris Tawia. Good pass from the point guard. Easy finish for Tawia.
Crandall to the finger roll, gets 2 much needed points for Leicester.
Really was, and simple play for him, just dribbled in the danger area there, got in the heart of that defense. He was able to extend that left hand. Nice finish.
Washburn brings it over midcourt. Reese for 3. Not this time. Poked down, but London get it back.
Tawia again being a nuisance off the offensive glass.
So Williams driving through, loses the ball. Reese wants a foul, but or maybe he wants to end-line possession. Either way, it's going to be a Leicester ball. It might have been a Leicester, might have been a London possession.
I like what he's doing there. Dirk Williams just attacking the rim as well, trying to create off the dribble.
Walker with Tawia on his back. Good help from Reese to steal it away. Reese stolen by Crandall. Washburn chasing back. Crandall all the way is fouled from behind by Kajini.
Just individual brilliance. Geno, Crandall, both ends of the floor, intercepts the ball, and then one man offensive transition. Oh goodness, it was a lot of the ball, but I guess it was a tangling of arms as well.
That's his third.
Genie doesn't think it was a foul.
Well, Leicester, normally a very good free throw shooting team. They've missed 6 here today. Oh, he's missed them both.
Wow, it was a really good play. It came up empty.
Reese gets into the key, drops it down to Tawi, puts it in for another 2.
What a game for Taria, man. He's just playing so solid today. Doing the business on both ends. He's already got 11 rebounds. That was a 6-point right there. Great job from the big fella.
Crandall for 3. Rims out. There's rebound number 12 for Big Chris.
And what Riders don't want to do is they don't want to go away from what we used to see in him.
Dirk Williams to the hole, takes the foul, and the basket will count.
He just floats like a gazelle. One crossover, another dribble, gets all the way to the rim. Tough finish.
Wow. Downhill basketball, that's what Dirk Williams does best. He's got a great first step, extremely quick, extremely athletic, arms so long, he can finish about just over anybody. The finger roll, lefty, and 1.
Well, Loving got him first, so the foul went on him, his first personal foul. Dirk Williams stretches the London lead out to 8. Well, we talked in the first half about Leicester's consistency offensively. They've only got 5 points here in the third. Crandall spinning back, blocked by Tawia again.
And now it's Leicester Riders playing hero ball.
Tawia running the floor out to Kajini. Ward Hibbert with the offensive rebound. Reese will let fly. But there's Ward Hibbert again to put it in.
Josh Ward Hibbert, game changer. And the Leicester Riders actually got away with 2 there. Geno with an open 3. Then Isaiah Reese with the open 3. But Josh Ward Hibbert's never say die attitude gets a putback. Extends the lead to 10.
Oh, Leicester just can't buy a basket here. Oh, it's stolen. No, not quite by Dirk Williams. Jackson driving in, finishing strong.
What a tough finish. And that's what Jackson does best. He's great finishing in traffic. Such a scrappy player.
Dirk Williams top of the key. Rebound Walker. Jackson. Dirk Williams diving on the floor. Jackson trying to shovel it to Walker, who gets fouled.
Good patience there, and Dirk Williams putting his body on the line. And remember, he's on 3 fouls. So he's got to be careful. He went for the steal originally, but what that does is it puts the London Lions defense out of position, and Mo Walker is deep position down low. He's going to make something happen. Chris Tower, what a shift he's put in today. Almost to the point where you forget that Kyler Kelly is another asset there to come off the bench.
It's not a bad second option there.
Not at all.
He's just such a blue-collar worker. You know, he doesn't complain. He just gets out there and does his job.
Walker makes the second free throw. The gap is down to 7, just over a minute to go. London led by as many as 10 in the first half. Leicester came back. It's Kelly. Another offensive rebound. This time it was Reese. Kelly going after it again and turning it into points.
Energy on the glass right now for the London Lions. Keeping them adrift here. 9-point lead.
if I'm the Leicester Riders, I'm screaming at my guys, no more second chance points. No more second chance points.
Washington with another big three for Leicester. They really needed that.
Fearless experience of Connor Washington. They're going to need him now to settle this team through the storm.
Kelly just running some clock here. Reese comes to get it. Reese looking, shot clock's getting low. Reese has to fire it away, gets it away in all string.
That was good defense for Kimball McKenzie, just better offense from Reese.
Here's Washington for three on the buzzer. Does not go, and the London Lions have an 8-point lead going in to the final 10 minutes of the season. A great third quarter for them. They've outscored Leicester 26 points to 11. And it is they who are 10 minutes away from being playoff champions. Isaiah Reese with 25 points to lead them. Can Leicester come back, or will London be the last man standing? We'll have the fourth quarter when we return. Welcome back to the O2 Arena. The London Lions lead the Leicester Riders by 8 in the playoff final. Is there a way back into the game for Leicester? Can London sign off a up and down season on the highest of highs? Walker out to McKenzie. Gets it back, McKenzie to the rim, finishes.
Such a smart move. Kimball McKenzie wanted to pull up that shot, but he was patient. Good pass into the post and an excellent cut and finish.
Williams down to Reese. Reese fighting around the screen. Almost loses the ball, gets it back to Kelly, who can't convert. The rebound is with Adekoya. Whoa, that's not a great pass. They got away with it though. Miles out, Washington for three!
Wow, such a big shot. The unconscious nature of Connor Washington, that was deep. Big play.
It's down to 3. Washburn driving in, and a foul on the floor by Adekoya.
Good play from Julian Washburn. think when the game is like as electrifying as it is, he does a good job there just to attack the defender. Get the referee to blow some whistles.
Somebody needs to come to the ball. Dirk Williams does. Reese. Late in the shot clock. Reese from the elbow. That one doesn't go. Whelan with the rebound. Washington, top of the key. That one's way off the mark.
No rebounders, though. You see, but the London Lions, they've done a really good job of crashing the boards.
Okay, Williams has lost it, has he? Well, Ward Hibbard's out of bounds. It'll be a Leicester ball. Well, Ward Hibbard's hurt himself, has he? He's trying to spin and keep it in play. You can see Dirk lost it. Oh, and Whelan sort of lands on him.
Goodness me, tweak of the ankle there as well.
You hate to see it, especially since the season he's had. He's been out with injuries all year. It looks like he's shaking it off here, and
he's back up on
right
his feet.
back to work.
Adekoya to McKenzie. Down to Mo Walker. Mo Walker blocked. Goes again. Blocked again.
Great hands and timing from Kyler Kelly to get a couple blocks there to protect the rim.
Reese. Foul on the floor.
Kimball McKenzie just looking to harass Reese there. Referee deemed too much contact on the body.
Lobbed into Kelly. Back to Washburn. In the corner is Kajini. That's way short and falls into the hands of Adekoya.
Well, the pump fake now's working for Kajini because everyone is a little bit more fearful of him knocking down another three.
McKenzie with the quick step takes it into the body of Kelly, who commits the foul, and that is going to be his fourth personal foul.
Cue Tawia.
Wow, it's a good take from Kimball McKenzie. Again, it's just the aggressive nature to attack the rim and make the referee call it's the swipe down from Kyler Kelly. Really gives the referee no choice, but there's some afters there between Reese and McKenzie, which is, you know, you often see this with the high-stake games such as this.
Well, neither of them have taken too many backward steps this season.
No, they haven't.
It is to make it a one-point game. McKenzie makes them both. Time now for Geno Crandall to return.
Now it's a good period of time where he's had chance to rest as well. It's logged 25 minutes so far in this game.
Well, you compare that to 31 for the man with the ball. Oh, he's falling over. Washington has it. Washington will run it back. He will get chased. And Mo Walker will jam it in.
Wow. Great defensive play from Connor Washington. Doesn't finish the layup, but it doesn't matter because he's got a trailing teammate. Mo Walker gets the easy flush. And this is what we've seen. London Lions, it's a 9-0 in this quarter. When they're not scoring the basketball, the other areas of the game is just not good enough.
Yeah, first and the third quarter, great for the Lions, but not able to convert in the second parts of those halves. They need to get the ball movement. They need to stick to the game plan, see what was working. I think Chris Tawia back in the game now will help. But, you know, timeout, talk it out. Let's drop the play real quick. Let's put the ball in the basket and break the ice here in this fourth quarter.
Well, 9 unanswered points by the Leicester Riders has put them back in front. This game has ebbed and flowed. Leicester have trailed by double figures in both halves, and they've 8 points up at one stage. They are 1 point up right now. And
it just goes to show those small, careless turnovers like we saw from Isaiah Reese there. Those will add up down the stretch, especially in a game like this. So you've got to minimize those turnovers and just get the ball over half. Let's get into a set.
And he has an incredible stat line as well. 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. But it's those turnovers that you cannot allow, and especially turnovers such as that. On the other end of the scale, that Connor Washington, boy, is he influenced this game. 12 points personal for him. He's made big plays, including that one, and a plus-minus of +12.
Ward Hibbett brings it forward. Here is Tawia back into the game. Tawia back to Ward Hibbett. 5 on the shot clock. Washburn fires up the 3. Crandall with the rebound.
Not a great offense.
No.
The ball wasn't moving particularly well. There's a contested shot.
I mean, a drawn-up set out of a timeout. I'm expecting more than that to settle for that type of shot.
Crandall up to 15. Leads the Riders in scoring.
This is where it's such a clever move from Rob Paternostro. You've got your star player here now that isn't blowing because he hasn't played 34 minutes to date. He's had his rest. He's had time to mentally think about the game as well, and his energy levels are still high.
Ward Hibbett had a couple of punts at that, left it short as a result. Crandall back to Washington. Foul called. Josh Ward Hibbett, 11-0 the start here. London still looking for their first score of the fourth quarter. Dirk Williams back into the action. Kajini sits down. Crandall is fouled and it drops! What a finish from Geno Crandall!
Such a smart move. He keeps his dribble alive and finds himself a pocket in the danger area and uses that contact to propel himself towards the rim. Very good finish.
Well, there is not too many players in the history of British basketball who've kept the dribble alive as long and as well as he does.
Agreed. He's so good at that.
But he struggled from the free throw line today. 5 of 9. 4 misses from him. He's normally a very good foul shooter. Leicester by 5. London looking for their first score of the fourth quarter. Reese lobs it to Tawia. London still have it. Dirk Williams resets for 3. Back iron. Washburn with the rebound. Well, they've really crashed the offensive glass today, London.
They have, winning the battle of the boards.
Crandall with the steal. Stolen back. Tawia driving in. He loses it. It's a Leicester ball.
Difficult situation there. Chris Tawia is not usually comfortable or required to create from such a distance from the rim. The ball ricochets off his knee.
The one thing you would say, London, with their 15 offensive rebounds, only have 8 second chance points.
It feels like more. It feels like they've been doing a good job of crashing the boards. But
oh, that's a foul on Dirk Williams, and that is the 4th personal foul on Dirk Williams. What do London do here? Do they leave him out there? 5:11 to go.
You have to. You're not scoring the basketball, and he's your best scorer. I don't think you've got an option. You've got to roll the dice.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Dirk Williams is a guy that we need on the floor right now. This London Lions team has not scored in the fourth quarter. We need to break that ice.
Crandall, he's got Tawia on him, which means Walker to mismatch inside, and it's a travel, is it? Yeah. Good work from Ward Hibbett.
Excellent work from Ward Hibbett. And Walker, his brain was too fast for his body there. He'd already been thinking to power that back up through. We've all been there. Make a move before you catch him, and what that does is gets him the travel in violation because he wasn't really composed enough to put himself on balance before going up.
5 minutes have passed. London still haven't scored. Can Reese do it for them here? There's a foul called. I think it's on Walker. It is the number 6 that's shown to the table.
And this is what's so hard when you rely on individual talent to score the basketball. It's so difficult for Reese to have to break someone down and get past not one defender, but then get past the help defender. It's not sustainable. And the London Lions need to figure out a way here to be able to put points on the board as a team.
Reese underneath, throws it up, it ends up Taria blocked by Walker. Taria still has his shot off the bound to expire. It's a 24-second violation.
Wow, just come up empty again. Another offense goes back in for the London Lions. 13-0 in this quarter.
Incredible job on the defensive end from the Leicester Riders here, and a great block from the big man right here. Maybe a little love tap on the arm after the play.
Well, you remember the game at the Copper Box that we covered earlier in the season where London only scored 3 in the fourth quarter. They've got to get the scoreboard ticking. Crandall for 3, too long. Washburn with the rebound.
A good play, though. They got what they wanted. It was a good sign when even when you miss shots, your offense looks good.
Reese, Taria, he scores! London's first points of the fourth quarter and a chance to turn it into 3.
Chris Taria, the guy we've been talking about all day, doing the little things, finally scores for the London Lions here in the fourth quarter. Pick and roll situation, finishes, gets the and one.
Let's see how Reese is just excellent in that situation. Nice lead pass there, and Chris Taria does the rest. Big double-double for him.
Hopefully this can spur the Lions on here. Now, despite that being their first score of the quarter, they're still only 3 points down.
Taria at the free throw line. And he converts the three-point play. It's a 2-point game in favor of the Leicester Riders. 4 minutes to play.
Big possession right here. Big possession.
Crandall with the jump shot, knocks it down.
Big players respond to big plays. Geno Crandall coming up big. I think you heard your call there, Mike.
He did. Big time shot from the MVP right there. Big time players step up in big time situations.
Reese down to Taria. Good switch of defenders by the Riders. Oh, good follow by Washburn to tip it in.
Julian Washburn's activity, keeping his team within 2 here. Nice putback.
Crandall up in the air, throws it away, or does he? It's a held ball. It's a Lions ball. Whoa! Neither player wanted to let go of that one.
You'd love to see it, though. The BBL Playoff Championship on the line. No one wanted to give it up.
I'm just going to throw it out there. There's never been overtime in a playoff final before.
Speak it into existence, Dan.
Williams falling over, and a foul is called.
Wow, does well to create something there, Dirk Williams, but I think there's one of those times now where you attack the rim, you just hope the whistle gets more. I think Dirk Williams was hitting the ground.
Third personal foul on Geno Crandall. Dirk Williams at the line, looking to tie things up. Oh, he's missed the first.
Two players are fighting after the ball in a dead play.
Yeah, and the referee's like, that's my rebound. What are you guys doing? He makes the second.
These are the best moments right here. This is what you miss the most as a retired basketball player. There is no replication of this. High stakes, the pressure, the camaraderie with your former teammates on court. Great to see both of these teams going at it.
Crandall with the jump shot. Doesn't go. Nelson Henry tips it. It's batted out. That's not a backcourt. That's live. It's a tip. It's not a backcourt. Here's Jackson. Jackson to the basket. He's blocked. Here comes Reese. Reese for 3! No. Washington gets the rebound.
Wow, the energy in this building right now. The noise. Intensity levels on 100.
Riders by 1, 2:10 to play. Crandall gets into the lane, the reverse lane is good.
He's so good in there. As soon as he gets in the heart of that defense, he's so dangerous. Just because he's got the patience, the length as well to extend that finish over Chris Talia. 3-point game.
London Lions call a timeout here with a couple of minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They trail by 3. Geno Crandall moves up to 21 personal points. Justin Robinson in there giving all of his experience to his teammates. Well, there's Vince McCauley. What would he be doing in a timeout with 2 minutes to go?
He wouldn't be sitting down looking cool like that.
No, he wouldn't.
I think he'd have on a better jacket as well.
Yeah, true. Here we go then. The season comes down to this. It is the Leicester Riders and the London Lions. There are 2 minutes to play. And the playoff title is on the line. Is it a treble for Leicester? Is it a victory for the Lions? Reese to inbound. Needs a bit of help from Washburn. Dirk Williams now. Here comes Reese. Reese driving in all the way to the rack. It's a 1-point game.
What a play. Challenged. The 6'11" center, Nelson Henry. High off the glass finish. Gets us to go.
Crandall finds Nelson Henry, who lays it in.
Well, we've seen that 1-2 combo throughout this whole season. Finished the play around the rim. Nelson Henry, 15 points pressure for him.
80 seconds to go. London trail by 3. Here's Washburn. Gets it back to Reese. Reese finds a little gap and he cuts it to 1 again.
Reese heating up now.
Oh, just lobbed into Jackson. Just for a second, I thought Williams was going to get that.
Big possession right here, and they're going to the MVP.
Minute to go. Crandall with the jump shot, top of the key, all string.
That's a huge play. He measured up the defender, just would hit it, contests it, but it's not enough. Geno Crandall, nothing but net.
Reese turns the corner, out to Washburn. London need a score here. Here's Reese, he's been the man getting them. He fires to tie it, it's short, and Crandall has the rebound. And Leicester will take their time here. Do London foul? That's the question. Are they going to let them run the clock down? They are. Well, that's a gamble down 3. They've got to get a stop, London. Got to get a stop. Crandall fires it up. Oh, it's come out, but it's come to Adekoya. Washington have it. Leicester play, keep away. Oh, he's thrown it away. John Williams, stolen by Washington. It's a London ball with 2.8 seconds to go. Oh my goodness, everything's happened.
Well, while we catch our breath here, the script has been torn up. It was just free-flowing basketball. Possession turned into a different possession. And London will have a chance here.
Well, the London Lions have made their name this season as a 3-point shooting team. They've only made 7 today. They were really early on in the game, but they need one now with just a couple of seconds left to force overtime.
Wow, Riders had it. Then all of a sudden they didn't, and then they did. Remarkable.
They were trying to run the clock so that the foul couldn't come, and then the extra pass. Sometimes you just got to take the foul there.
Exactly, but incredible job by Dirk to keep the ball alive there, keep it going downhill in the other direction. Gets knocked out of bounds by Washington with 2 seconds left. Gives the Lions a chance to tie the game here. Can you feel the energy in this arena right now?
It is reverberating around the O2. There are 2.8 seconds potentially left in the season. London trying to force another 5 minutes. Leicester, of course, could foul on the floor and send them to the free throw line. It's not really Rob Paternoster's nature, that. He normally trusts his defense. Well, Reese, I think, is going to inbound it. So Dirk Williams is the most obvious three-point shooter on the court. Washburn out there as well. There is time to get it back to Reese, I suppose, but... Oh, it's lobbed straight to Crandall, who runs away, and the Leicester Riders have won the treble! The Leicester Riders race on court to celebrate. What an amazing game of basketball, and the Riders are the champions.
It certainly was. It was like 4 bouts of boxing. Round 1 goes to the London Lions. Round 2 left the Riders, and the London Lions snatch it back. But you're only as good as the last round, and the Leicester Riders take round 4, 21-10 in the fourth quarter. And it was their defense that propelled them over the line.
Well, these are the moments, and this is the way to win the game. You see, earlier in the season, Riders won the cup, they were happy. But you win on the last play like that, in a hard-fought game like that. These are the ones you celebrate more.
100%. And you look at a guy like Geno and Darian Nelson-Henry, guys that this has kind of been that last competitions that has eluded them. They fought hard, they stuck it through to the end, and now they come out playoff champions.
Well, if we go back to the play that the Lions ran, lobbing it across court, it's a long way to throw it. Crandall said, thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think you had options. You had Dirk, you had Cugini, you had Washburn. I think he threw that pass a little bit too early there, and it was definitely way too short.
And I don't know why you would elect to have a strategy such as that. Any play to me that risks a high risk of a turnover, you cannot elect to do it with 2.8 seconds left. You have to shoot the ball. You have to put your team in a position to shoot the basketball to win the game. For me, that was high risk and it was not rewarded.
That's one they're going to be licking their wounds to after watching the tape back. That one's going to haunt their dreams for the entire summer.
Well, it's the Riders fans are on their feet. Rob Paternostro there with his wife and his children celebrating the moment, and they will very much enjoy this evening's festivities, I can guarantee you that.
Wow, what a game. Remarkable. It's been it feels like it's been, what's that, 2 years since we've been able to have a final in an arena in a setting such as this. Wow, boy, good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, indeed. What a game that was. One of the great playoff finals, certainly in modern history, as the Leicester Riders and the London Lions slugged it all out. Well, the Lions, with 10 points in the second quarter and 10 points in the fourth quarter, those were the two where it got away from them. They had the lead at the end of the 2 odd periods, but they couldn't hang on to it.
And like we talked about earlier, it's always a game of margins, right? So if you're the London Lions, you're looking back at all those little tiny free throws that you missed, those turnovers that you have, and then obviously made the game come down to that last play, and that a big turnover that obviously costs you the game.
And a word for Leicester's bench. I mean, you look at the plus minus, it's McKenzie, it's Washington, it's Adekoya, who were the big numbers in the plus minus, where Leicester came back into the game.
I thought those guys were huge, and we've commented on the depth of this squad throughout the whole year, but I think in the big time occasion, you typically, coaches don't like to rotate as much in these situations. You want to go with your 7 guys and just go until the wheels fall off, per se. But Rob's Paternoster's confidence in his bench, you know, kind of watching again, he's got that experience. It's something that you can't tangibly measure. You don't care how many points he's averaging coming into this game. You just know that he's going to be able to find a way to get it done.
Well, the presentation party is out there, and the London Lions now will come up to get their runners-up medals, and this is the worst moment in sport. Really, you've just been beaten, you've seen the other team jumping up and down on the court, and you have to endure this when you just want to get to the locker room.
Well, everyone keeps celebrating Mike's Tuck amazing performance here in 2016, but that was my last game as a professional. So I had to do this very narrative you're explaining now, Dan, as my last game of my professional career. It's tough, it hurts, but what I will say, this is really good for the London Lions. They're a team that came in with big expectations, big budgets, and they have delivered on, and I think, expectations. Now, if they figure out a way here to bring back a nucleus of these players, that hurt will be very good for them in the future.
Well, they've all gone up and received their mementos, and a little thumbs up from Coach Lowry to the Riders, coaches and team as he wanders back in what could well be his last, presumably his last game as a head coach. He filled in as interim in the time, but now is the moment for the Leicester Riders. Geno Crandall has brought his baby out onto court. It is a tiny little baby in that situation. You won't remember much about this, but there'll be photos presumably on the wall at home for years to come. There we go, look at that. Beautiful moment for him. And the league MVP goes up to get his medal from Ronnie Walker, the chairman of the BBL. And he might make a second trip up to the table, Geno Crandall, for another golden basketball.
I think that's a fair assumption. Dan, he was just excellent. He was brilliant down the stretch as well. He wasn't shied away from making any of the big plays. He had the ball in his hands. He made the big plays. And boy, was he huge for this club. And he gives you confidence. When you know you've got the MVP on your team and they deliver. I had a Drew Sullivan back in my day. And other players, Jay Cousinard's there, Taylor, MVP caliber players that make big plays down the stretch. It gives your team confidence.
And Rob Paternostro goes up. Here is a man who just wins and wins and wins and wins, and he gets to a final and he beats people every time. He's not lost a final since 2016. Sorry to keep bringing it up. It's an incredible level of consistency.
And a part of that is too because of the heartache that he's endured. You know, he had to go up against the Flab Flanoy now in the NBA for many, many years. And Rob Paternostro is really good at two things. He's really good statistically, tactically, and understanding preparing his team for games. But he's really good leader of men. He has a group here of very talented individuals. But not one of them swayed this year and threw their toys out of the pram. He's able to keep this group collected together.
Well, the MVP has just been announced, and no surprises. It is Geno Crandall once again. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, including the crucial one at the end, and another golden basketball to add to his collection.
What a deserved performance. And it was a big gamble for him to come back. He was the MVP of the league last year. Really, if it doesn't go well, the only thing you've done is you've sort of displayed your name, but he's came back, he's rolled the dice, he's took the gamble, he's bettered it. He's the MVP of the league, he's the MVP of the BBL playoff finals, and his team won the treble.
Well, 2 very proud dads there with their babies heading in for the presentation moment, and well, the ticker tape starts to fall as well from the sky as the Leicester Riders come forward. Darian Nelson-Henry has the silver and gold basketball, and the Leicester Riders are the playoff champions once again. Well, the pressure was on them coming into the season, and boy have they delivered one of the great league campaigns of all time. And now they have 3 trophies in the cabinet, another treble for the Leicester Riders.
Well, the dynasty continues. It was built 2012-13 under the Rob Paternoster Empire, and it continues to deliver silverware after silverware, league titles mount up, and here they are again, standing champions of the last game of the season.
Well, the Morningside Arena in the corridors have pictures all over, and this is the latest one that will be added of yet another success, more ticker tape flying, and the Leicester Riders celebrating and posing at the end of their treble.
And congratulations to the Leicester Riders, this year's BBL playoff champions.
Final thoughts and on what has been a remarkable season to go through, losing so few games, winning the league by so many, and capping it off here at the O2 on the final day.
Well, sports are a results-driven business, right? And you're going to get rated on your performances and how you fared. But these moments right here, these pictures, these moments you're capturing in your memories, these last a lifetime. And this is a team that deserves to be known for being champions. They've been so consistent. They've done it in the right way this year. And these are moments that will last a lifetime. I speak for experience.
And these are moments where our boys deserve to be on the court, and they are on the court. Let's go back to Nat.
Yeah, we made it down here, Dan. The confetti flying everywhere. And speaking of players who know all about this feeling, Drew Lasker, talk us through this moment, what it's like when you're minutes after landing the playoff trophy.
You got to go reflect back to the summer, all that hard work that you put in over the course of the season, practices, the grind through a 9-month season. It's hard to kind of put anything into words. I can't put in words for you.
What a finish to the game. What a finish to this season. Down to the final 2 seconds. The Lions had a shot. That's what we wanted, right?
What a year has it? It's been such an exceptional year. Way to cap it off. We're here with Geno, the MVP.
Exceptional year. Geno, congratulations on a signature performance to cap a signature season. Put into words what you're feeling right now.
Excitement. I think obviously we've had a great year, and we were never going to hang our hat on this one game. But it always feels good to end your season with a win. I've said it all year. A lot of the trophies we won and individual awards have, been like a culmination of hard work. So kind of just a repeat of that same feeling, really.
We know that you guys are the #1 offense in the BBL, but what did it ultimately come down to? Defense. Kind of walk us through what was talked about in that huddle going into that final play.
Yeah, we were going to switch everything. I think that's the easiest way to keep everybody in front. I'm sure they saw that coming. They tried to do some curls and an elevator thing to try to beat the switch. And I don't know if we had somebody on the ball. I couldn't see, but it was. I think the pass was disrupted a little bit because I kind of fell right in my lap. Excuse me, but a lot of credit to our coaching staff. They had us prepared for basically anything they were going to throw at us, offensively. Excuse me.
Geno, talk us through this season, the treble for Leicester, another MVP award for you. How special is this group of players that you're with?
Oh, extremely special. I think after tonight we're going to be really upset at ourselves for how we performed in the trophy, not allowing ourselves a chance to win all 4. But, incredibly special group of guys, a group of guys you enjoy coming into work every day with. Obviously we'll see what the future holds, but I'm hoping that we're able to keep a lot of these guys together, myself included. So, we'll see. I really enjoyed all season working with these guys.
Got to ask, straight after the end of the game, and you went right up to Vince McCauley, the former Lions head coach, who you spotted sitting right opposite you. And it's incredible that you went up to him in that moment and had a word with him. Can you tell us what you said?
I just told him good to see him. It's always good to see him. He's definitely one of the giants, of the game in this league and in this country. So I just wanted to pay my respects that way. And it was incredibly unfortunate that he wasn't able to be on the sidelines for this one. I think he would have really enjoyed that. Obviously I'm sure he enjoyed being here, but just trying to pay respects to a guy that it feels like has done a lot for this game and has always been extremely respectful to me. So
I saw you got the opportunity to spend that moment with your child.
Yeah.
So congratulations again on becoming a father. Just sum up what that means to you. Be on the court with your child, celebrating a big win like this.
Yeah, I won't lie. It was my girlfriend's idea. But, I think it'll be really cool for her to be able to look back and have that type of experience and know that I was able to do things back in my day when I get old and my back doesn't work anymore. And, hopefully she loves the game as much as I do, and that can just be somewhere where she says, 20 years down the line, that's where her love of the game kind of stemmed from.
And you've obviously got Rob Paternostro, Coach of the Year, behind you. He really made some great adjustments down the stretch. You held the London Lions scoreless for the first 5 minutes of the fourth. Talk about Rob and what adjustments he made throughout the game for you guys.
Yeah, he's incredible. I think credit to their staff as well. They switched things up throughout the game. And, when it comes down to a chess match, between these lines on a basketball court, I think Rob's got a leg up on just about anybody that we've seen so far, at least. So, one of the biggest things was just play harder. I think there were stretches where they definitely came out and played harder than us. So adjustments aside, I think that's one thing where when we were able to go on our runs, we really just were able to buckle down and spend ourselves.
Hey, Geno, look behind you. Lucky you used the word incredible to describe your coach. He's just rocked up.
Appreciate that.
Incredible is a word I think we're going to hear a lot with your right side. You've had a lot of success with this franchise over the years. But put into context, into perspective, just how special this bunch is, Rob.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard to put into words, to be honest with you. But that's what I said to him before the game. I said, years to come, you guys are going to look back at this team, and you're going to talk about it a lot. Not just because of the success, but just the way they worked, the way they played together. And I think today really demonstrated what we're all about. I thought our bench came in and defended in the second half. And that's been the story for us all year, is we're getting contribution from 9 guys. It's an incredible group to work with.
Now, we love the finish. The 16,000 fans in the arena love the finish. I bet it was a little bit shakier for you. What was going through your mind with 2 seconds on the clock?
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure we didn't give them anything clean from 3. We wanted to defend the 3-point line. There was no way we would go inside the 3-point line. And when that buzzer sounded, it felt amazing. I thought that, to finish the job off with this group was incredible.
Well, Coach, while we have him here, one thing that's stuck in my mind the analogy that you use is when you go to the park, you put Geno Crandall in the car. Just describe what it's been working with him over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, first off, he's got so much talent. We know that. You see that every day, his athleticism, but his IQ is great. And then the competitiveness that he has. And, back in the day when we used to play outside in the park in the 80s and the 90s, you better take a competitor with you if you want to stay on the court. And Geno would definitely make it in my car. No question.
That's right.
Mike, you've had first-hand experience of playing this lot this year. Talk us through what's that's like in terms of the collective Leicester team and also in particular Geno.
Well, I mean, you always have to take your hat off to Rob. He's an incredible coach in this league, a legend in this league. He always puts together a tough team, and we look at this team over the last 2 seasons. They've done some great things. It's always been a pleasure playing against them. For me, Rob, quick question for you.
Yeah.
The playoff title was one that evaded you guys last season, but you ended up getting here this season. A lot of weight is put behind the league title, but this must be your favorite title this season.
Well, I think the league title's my favorite from the simple fact that it's the whole season, and you really feel like you had to put in a lot of work all year. It can't just be one day. But this is the best feeling in some sense because now we know we're on vacation as well, and that's a pretty good feeling. But to play in this venue, last year we played in the Morningside Arena. It wasn't the O2, so we needed to be back in the O2 to get the W. But playing it here, playing in front of this fan, and playing against a great team like that, today was a special day.
Well, Rob, you guys have dominated over the last 2 seasons, and the thing that we've heard being tossed around is Europe. And my only question is, what's next for this organization?
Well, we'll have to see. I know that, there are a lot of people behind the scenes trying to put that work in to see if we can go. I made no secret I'd love to go again, but we want to make sure that it's done right. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have some sort of announcement to figure out what we're going to do.
And I just want to say, we talk about us creating narratives from good to great. Is it okay for us now to call you a great team? Is that okay?
I felt like I was targeted on that,
I don't
Rob.
really talk. Yeah, I mean, me before the game's a little different than me after the game, so you can do that now. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll throw a win as well. He's been itching to say that. We will let you get back to the celebrations with your family and friends. Congratulations to both of you on a brilliant season. Well done, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy.
Thank
Brilliant stuff from Rob Paternostro, Geno Crandall, our league MVP. The treble for Leicester is locked in. Let's have a word on the London Lions, though, because, Drew, they put up a more than valiant performance. And given the roller coaster season that they've had, they were within touching distance of a title. And they'll take a lot of positives from the way that they played today.
Yeah, they can build on this. The thing that we always ask professional athletes is leave it all out there, play with effort. And that's been questioning all season when it comes to the London Lions. And they just gave us a taste of what could have been if we would have saw this version of the London Lions over the course of the season, in particular in the British Basketball League, because we saw what they could do in Europe. They just didn't bring it here. But they can move forward, they can go back and look and see where they can right their wrongs and be what Leicester is today.
Yeah, that's what they're aiming for. Of course, they came so close. And at halftime, Kieran, we postulated that if they were going to win this, then Isaiah Reese needed to keep his hand hot. That's absolutely what went down. A brilliant first half, a brilliant second half. The standout player for them on the court today. Almost a triple-double for him.
He was just in his bag. You know, he right from the get-go, he was ready and willing to play today. And he really stepped up. It was such a fun player to watch, you know. And for me, I'm greedy. You know, I want to see Geno and Isaiah back next season in the BBL battling it out.
Micah, you're probably the only one out of the four of us that doesn't want to see him back, so he's going to be going against him. But 29 points for Isaiah, 8 boards, 7 assists. Talk up his performance today.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that led from the front, and he's a guy that can score in bunches, and he did that tonight, pulling up some incredible shots from three-point range, but also being a leader out there. And when they were in droughts, he was able to kind of pull them out. And yeah, he's definitely a guy that's on everybody's scout.
We're going to wrap things up, fellas, with our memories of the season. I'm going to come to you first, Mike, because like we said at the top of the show, you'd have loved to have been there playing with the Sharks. Next best thing hanging with us. But overall, number 2 seed, second in the league. You must be happy with the Sheffield turn in this season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were pleased with the second place finish. You know, unfortunately, the basketball gods did not shine bright on us down the stretch. 2 of our key guys going down with injuries, and we had to take an exit in the first round of the playoffs. But overall, happy with the season.
Kieran, your enduring memory of the season?
You know what? For me, this is going to sound a little bit cheesy, but I'm just happy to be here, man. I've really enjoyed this season. The fans are back. You know, we've got great production, great team to work with. You know, I'm just so excited to see where we've come and how our game's getting shown on TV on the big stage and putting on a show. It's just fun to be a part of.
Well said. What a way to finish, Drew, in front of 16,000 British basketball fans. The game is in a good place right now domestically, isn't it?
Yeah, it's moving, it's trajectorying up, and like you mentioned, just to echo you, Kieran, just to see the atmosphere here in the last 5 minutes, and that's the foreshadowing of what I hope and believe is coming for the British Basketball League.
Well, it's good that you say that because there is more where that came from. I'm delighted to say that we are going to be back next season here on Sky Sports, bringing you the very best of the action from the BBL Championship, the Trophy, the Cup, and once again, playoff finals, both the BBL and the WBBL, much like we've enjoyed today. So stay tuned to the BBL and Sky Sports websites and digital platforms for details of the fixtures when they're released over the coming weeks. But for this season, that is all she wrote. Fantastic work from the three of you, and indeed Ant and Dan, all the terrific crew that worked so hard in bringing you the coverage. Congratulations to the Leicester Riders on a remarkable season. How about we do it all again next time? We'll see you then. Bye for now. We're back for season 2 with the BBL on Sky Sports.
The fans are back. That's unbelievable to me.
We love the drama, Dan. We love it.
And action. By Shelton.
That's a preview of something to come this season, and that's not a bad look.
Period again for another 3. Oh, my goodness! Kyler Kelly!
This is Glasgow, Newcastle, so I might give Kieran a few bows tonight.
It's similar to what he does in the court, and the referee's never called it, so...
my goodness! Harris!
This thing on? Mike Tuck checking in. Sky Sports, baby.
It works.
Hey, tell New England Patriots to come get me. I look like Tom Brady.
6 points, 4.5 minutes. We can't take our eyes off anything.
Blocked by Geno Crandall.
Like 33 now, man.
We ain't scoring there. We're scoring. Let's go.
How did I miss the free throw? What did I not do?
Oh, man.
That was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that play was disgusting.
Disgusting.
What a throwdown!
Coach Rob Paternostro, Ramon Fletcher, Mike Tuck, Siobhan Pryor, Vince McCauley.
Let's go!
Favorite bit of British slang that you picked up?
Well, I don't have a slang, but when you Brits get off the phone, bye. Oh my God.
I'm tripping. Oh, I do got one. Mendem.
Cheeky Nando's.
It's not bad, but not a patch on your Geordie accent, Drew Lasker.
Why, aye, man? Freezing like?
So do the Geordie accent now.
Sky Sports, Friday night in the tank.
The London Lions are the 2022 trophy champions.
I wanted to go out for dinner. Yeah, right. It's not happening.
I don't want to have to hear Kieran and Charles' mouth if they don't make the playoffs.
And do you think that'll happen, Drew?
Fletcher, top of the key, knocks it down. My hair has grown. What did the other guy ever achieve?
So we've had a decent start.
My pet peeve is chewing really loudly. Loud.
All right, wait. I'm going to let y'all finish. But why I can't get an interview, man?
Louder.
Loudly. Can I get a whole ass?
LOL, that's all I do.
My pet peeve is chewing really loud. Oh my God, I can't say it.
Gator clap.
Loud. Can you say it again?
No. This is going to be a long day.
Big dog.
You can edit me.
Oh, we're good. He's got it. We're good. We're good.
You have not aged a day. When the hair falls out earlier in life, it's a lot easier to stay looking the same.
My pet peeve is chewing loudly.
And the Leicester Riders are the Cup champions. The Cheshire Phoenix, the 2022 BBL Trophy champs. The 2022 BBL champions, the Leicester Riders.
I love this group, and I love going to battle with them.
Are you not entertained?